Crossover continues to evolve.
Welcome to the crossover on this last day of May. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello.
What's going on?
We were having a really
Robbie week.
It is Robbie week.
Can't
It's
get
that
rid of
time
me.
of the year.
Can't get rid of me. I'm doing a lot of College World Series. I think I'm there every day but Wednesday.
Are we doing a show during the World? I didn't.
You and I aren't doing a show. I know.
Sad.
Yeah, you're busy, Connor.
Oh, I'm Connor. I got to do real stuff.
Well, the whole week I'm doing normal time.
No, you're going to do some on-field stuff, right?
Yes,
Which is really cool.
the first weekend. Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be good. Should be good.
Because big baseball guy over here,
I love baseball.
as many people know. It would be fun. We should try and arrange a reunion show.
What do you
You guys
mean?
aren't
Well,
doing
with
a
you
show
and
yet?
me.
Oh yeah. We can I'm sure make that happen. Maybe I could switch over to the night shift one day.
See, the shift
The old
of
4
between
p.m.er?
the 1 and 6 game, you might get lucky. And
It's
you
some
get
more
extra
short.
innings, and you
Some
might get
more
like a
short.
15-minute show.
Yeah, right.
Which is not good for people that are on the game because there's a quick turnaround. You're like, oh.
I still just, if anybody is listening, I still charge full freight no matter how long it takes.
It's in the contract.
I will get my quote.
But when you do, I learned this last year. So Robbie and I have done, it wasn't just last year, we've done other years together, is you get to make friends for life. Like
Star Vegas,
we
baby.
met Patty from Star
Oh, nice.
Yeah, who invited Robbie and I down to her house
And then followed up with an email. Like, she was serious.
and wanted to call one day.
She has called
Yeah.
several times after you guys leave. She has called.
How's she feeling right now? Not a great year down there.
No, they didn't even make their own conference tournament. So the defending champs are nowhere near Omaha.
You get a little bit of I think you get a little bit of leeway the year after a championship. Probably not this much leeway. You'd like to make the tournament still.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Nebraska.
Well, they didn't win a championship.
They won a Big Ten championship and then proceeded to not make the Big Ten tournament.
Not great.
Not great.
Not ideal.
Not great.
You know how many times this weekend I watched that tournament and I thought, how did Nebraska
Just
one of
yes.
eight?
That's
Beat
the
the
only
eight
thing I saw
seed.
watching that tournament.
Beat
Yes.
the 8 seed.
It was pretty bad baseball. In general, just I don't even have a follow up. It was just bad baseball.
Breaking
Well,
news,
we got
Big Ten
a-
might not be good.
We got a pitching problem in college baseball. We have the depth of arms.
You go
got
deeper
to-
into the weekend, it gets
Well,
really
like look
bad.
at, for example, that happened to Creighton. Creighton's got an ace who is now done pitching at Creighton. But after that, it gets, I mean, you need some luck. And when you run out of pitching, you get 27-8. That's how your season ended. You get Omaha losing 21-2 because they've exhausted their pitching. That's, man, if you win your first couple of games in the conference tournament, you are golden.
And it's not even
Exactly.
like the fun kind of 27-8 like we used to have. It's just like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Well, how about 25 to 22 in the old Pac-12 final there?
That was
I
incredible.
will take that. I will take that all day.
Well, it was 20. Was it 22 to 12 going into the last inning?
Yeah, UCLA scored 9 in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, it was like 22-13. And then
We got a serious pitching problem in this country in college baseball.
It's
Almost
a-
everyone can
it's
find
a-
an ace and a closer, but then when you try and go deep, and then there's other teams like the reason like a Tennessee or an Oregon State are going to be really good here is they've got 3 frontline starters, and then they've got a back end of the bullpen. But most teams have 1.5 starters, and once you're blown through that, it is Katie bar the door, and you better score a bunch of runs.
I wonder if any of that straightens out when the scholarships go up and for some of the schools that care about baseball.
I would think so because you can take more. You can take more flyers on guys that are developmental. You can give full rides to guys that maybe wouldn't get one
Right.
ordinarily. I think it'll help. I think there's also a perception. I think it's gotten.
Because there's so much value to it, right? Like, hey, you might think, well, I don't know.
I
Are we going
also
to give a
think-
full scholarship
remember
to our
the-
Saturday starter?
The Major
Yes.
League Baseball draft isn't as deep.
True.
Not as many rounds. So
Sure.
there are some of those guys that might be selected in the, we're talking 35th to 40th round. And in the past have been back end guys. Now they're not even going to get drafted.
Yeah.
So where are they going? They're going to go to college.
And really good high school arms, like you said. They go pro pretty much.
Well, and I think there's a perception with some of those really good high school arms of college baseball where, and I think it's gotten better to a certain extent, but there's still an issue of they just don't trust the coaches to take care of them in terms of their health and their arms and things like that, where they know in the minor leagues, That's literally their only goal.
Yep.
They don't care how many wins you get. They don't care how many wins the minor league squad gets. I mean, I know people within the minor league organization do, but those really big prospects are handled directly by the big league club for the most part.
This is the fun time of the year to follow Keith Law.
Yeah.
So Keith Law, who is now at The Athletic, used to be at ESPN, is the watcher of innings pitched and how many pitches you throw. And he will go on Twitter and he will call out programs. And so that's his favorite thing to do during the next 3-4 weeks of college baseball.
And I will say, shut up.
Some of them are ridiculous. So
pitch counts.
There was a,
People
and I
get
don't
so
think
fired up about this. Robbie, we've talked about this before.
I don't think they made the tournament, but they might have made their conference final. And I can't remember. It was a mid-major school. On a Friday, a guy threw 114 pitches. Now, not all pitches are created equal.
Correct.
But in this case, very few of those 114 were fastballs.
Yeah.
So he turned around and he
seeing
was
that more
pitching the
often
next
too.
day. And that's where you go, whoa.
See,
so
it's
he
stuff
pitched
like
3 more innings.
It's stuff like that, right? I don't necessarily care about the guy going 125 pitches instead of 110.
That's the thing. It's not all created equal.
Right.
But people like to
But
treat it like
when
it's
you
a
go-
black and white thing. When you get to 120, your arm immediately falls off.
No,
And that's
but
just not
when
the case.
you go 114 Friday night and then go 3 more innings Saturday. Like, yeah, your coach is not probably as concerned with your health and well-being as he is about his own future at that school or wherever. And so,
when you get up there into that range, you're pushing it. It still doesn't guarantee anything.
Here's the other thing is, especially at that age, I'm sure you guys remember what it was like. You're maybe not making the best decisions for your future.
You want to pitch, baby.
So you need
Something up there.
someone who can protect you from yourself. Because the kid was probably like, yeah, put me back out there, coach. My arm's good. Let's do it. I'm ready to go. But that's not what's best for the kid.
Guys now too, they know their bodies better than any other time. Maybe you're right. Back in our days, just like, throw me out there. I don't really care. I might not have it today, but I'm going to give us the best chance. Guys know when they have it and when they don't pretty quickly now.
They do, but I also think that there's a competitiveness to guys, especially at that age, where if they're even on the line a little bit, if they're anywhere in that gray area of maybe I have it, maybe I don't,
it's go.
A lot of guys will push the gas and say, all right, let's give it a try, which if you do that, you're right. If you get to 140 pitches, your arm's not going to immediately fall off. But if you have a habit of
auto Tommy John,
exactly, it's just your elbow explodes.
That's it.
Like the self-destruct mechanism in Mission Impossible, it's just done.
Yeah.
It's like one of those exploding ink packs when you steal something from a department store. Boom, that's what happens in your elbow.
Gone.
But so it's not that. And I understand your issue with people that make it seem like that.
Yeah, it's just not black.
But if you have a habit of putting yourself and your body in bad situations, you're obviously increasing the potential for injury. And so I think that's part of the reason where if you're a really talented high school guy and you're kind of on the line between, okay, should I go to college or should I go pro? I think it's pretty easy to make that decision for a lot of guys.
My dad was in that business. Like he'd draft,
the
Mets would draft a pitcher and it was a high school pitcher. He would go in there and that would be his pitch is, hey, we're going to pay all your college education and we're going to get you started in pro ball, and less wear and tear on your arm is going to be better for you. That was one of their selling points. Now,
major league teams are really, really careful.
It's
really early with, especially those high school pitches.
But it has kind of shifted a little bit where we're seeing more college pitchers are being drafted by Major League Baseball because the Cliff Gustafsons of Texas are no longer around. And so there are college coaches, because there's ramifications if you ruin a kid's arm of down the road with the next all-star you've got on the bump, is that they are taken care of. Plus, look at younger, there are built-in things where a kid can't blow out his arm pitching 12 years old, 14 years old, 16 years old. There at least are some restrictions now. So it's not as bad as it used to be. But anytime, you see a college pitcher is throwing 120, 125, all of those people are going to come out of the woodwork and go, college baseball doesn't care about a kid's arm.
Yeah.
And I think there are college coaches. Vanderbilt, for instance, has a history of producing really good major league pitchers, right? I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt from players and their parents that, hey, we're going to take care of you while you're here. And their track record is very good on that. There
are some schools that have the history of the opposite.
Exactly, right? And so it's not a universal college baseball thing. It's not I'm sure there's minor league systems that don't take care of their prospects as well as they should.
That's the whole thing. It's a big crapshoot.
It's a situation by situation basis for sure. But I think the perception on the whole is pro baseball will take care of my physical well-being better than college baseball will.
There has been a shift, and I think this is good because I think the majors in college have to work together. Is you are seeing more college pitching coaches are being hired by professional organizations, but not just to be a roving instructor. They're going now right to the major league dugout.
Yep.
Arkansas pitching coach under Dave Van Horn is now the pitching coach for the Twins. I think the Tigers pitching coach used to be at Michigan when Michigan was making their College World Series run. I saw yesterday as you were driving back from beautiful Target Field and your love of I-80 between Omaha and Des Moines.
Yes.
I can tell you, I bet I have made that trip when I was in college and then my entire lifetime. I'm probably at about 200.
Yeah.
So I don't
So-
even really pay attention on that stretch.
Well, you don't have to, but
Why?
it's-
And of all the things you mentioned, you did not talk about the amount of wind turbines.
Oh, a lot of
or,
wind
I don't-
turbines.
or the rest stop that actually has one of the blades from the wind turbine.
Yeah. And then there's like it's marked out there where they say like there's a modern rest area coming up soon. I don't know where that,
Yep.
but what they shouldn't have to like.
I think
note
that
it's
means it has
modern.
toilets.
Yeah, where there's just not normally toilets at a rest area. Anyway,
No, but the old school rest areas didn't have toilets.
yeah, you just stand there and
It was
look around,
literally
I
just a
guess.
place that you could pull over and get out of your car.
So there's nothing bad about there's nothing that makes my driving experience worse by the fact that the wind turbines are there. It's the wind. There's always some sort of weather. Yesterday we were driving back and it's lovely. It's sunny, but it's really, really windy the entire time. All of a sudden, huge rain, 10 minutes. Everybody slowed down. Everybody's going 10 miles an hour. And then the rain is gone. You would have never known that it happened. That is a horrible stretch. And not even in the top 5, what should have been in the top 5 list of reasons that part of the interstate sucks is because you are likely making a longer road trip. You're probably not coming from Des Moines to Omaha unless you're like you, Gary.
Yeah.
So you're coming from Minnesota or you're coming from the other side of Iowa or you're coming from Chicago. And it is the last 2 hours where it feels like it should be 45 minutes from Des Moines to Omaha, but it's a hard 2 hours.
Now, do you go then on the what is it? I guess it'd be 880. You go around instead of following 80.
I've done that a few times.
All right.
It doesn't make a difference. And that's the worst part about it.
There are less things to see on that.
You
stretch.
can't game the system. Like you can't game the system. It's the most frustrating thing ever. You can't beat it. You know, whatever your car tells you you're going to be, that's when you're going to be there, or whenever your phone tells.
I mean, you could drive faster.
Yeah, I do. And I made it like, so when I left yesterday, we were at the Mall of America because I had to grab a Shake Shack burger before I left. And it said 5 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah.
I made it in 5 hours and 10 minutes.
Nice.
That's as close. That's as good as it gets.
That's average. That's good.
That's as good as it gets. And that was really frustrating to me.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
and the whole thing was just 40-mile-an-hour winds the whole time. It was a disaster.
I could see how that would be boring. To me, it was either I was coming home to have laundry done or I was on my way back to school.
Yeah.
So I would leave Des Moines like at about 8 and I'd get into my dorm room about 11 or my house in Lincoln to go to college. So I completely blurred out that entire stretch until like I haven't driven in a while and you go back and you're like, oh, okay, that used to be and now it's not.
I actively avoided it because I lived in Creston for a semester of college when I played junior college baseball, unfortunately. And there's another highway that gets you there that, you know, is south of I-80 and it's probably slower. So I actively avoided the I-80 stretch just because, I mean, also it's really dark. When it's dark, it's dark.
Oh, it's really dark
out there.
Yeah.
Well, one thing too, north of Des Moines on 35 there going up to Minneapolis, I've never seen more deer. Never seen more dead deer on the side of the road. Like seriously.
Now the stretch,
Freshly dead.
So the stretch from Ames to Mason City is awful desolate. I will say, if either one of you get a chance
the
to go
Diamond
to
Joe
Southwest Florida,
Casino
from Tampa, from Sarasota to Fort Myers is a desolate stretch of I-75. But I think one of the worst stretches where there is nothing. Once you go from Sioux Falls all the way to Fargo, there isn't. The only saving grace is you can drive 80. There is nothing out there.
The worst stretch I've ever driven in my entire life. El Paso to San Antonio.
Ooh,
is that 10?
West Texas. I don't remember the name of the interstate, but you would go. I mean, it's about. I think it's 8 hours from El Paso to San Antonio. It's a really long stretch.
But this is all encompassing here. We're not talking about just how much nothing there is. If we want to talk about that, look at the entire state of South Dakota across night. If you ever driven to the Black Hills, like Oh my God,
Yes.
that is horrible. But you can go 80 and you can go 85 when you can go 80.
I'm
so
just
it's like,
saying,
you know,
West Texas is obviously desolate, but to the point where every time we saw a gas station, we stopped because we didn't know when we'd
Yeah.
see another
Oh,
one.
yeah, I love that.
And there was just this air of creepiness the entire time where you're like, this is every horror movie I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Someone is about to be murdered.
Yeah, your
here.
car's about to break down, and
Yeah, like
it's
someone's
likely that you'll
definitely
die.
going to die during this stretch. I don't know how anyone has ever successfully driven from El Paso to San Antonio without being murdered.
Mm.
I just don't know how that's ever happened.
The car keeps going. I guess.
And yeah, it was not pleasant. I would not recommend 0 out of 10.
How about east of Denver? Everything east of Denver on I-76 before you get to the state of Nebraska.
Oh,
Like, it gets better when you get to Nebraska,
Yes.
and there's nothing there.
What people don't know about
That is a disaster.
what people don't realize about Colorado is Colorado outside of kind of that strip where it's
Yeah.
like, Denver,
25.
Colorado Springs, like that area right there.
Fort Collins.
The rest of driving in Colorado is a nightmare. It's as bad as Western Nebraska's ever imagined about being. It's terrible.
I remember when I first drove from Lincoln to Denver, I thought when you hit the Colorado-Nebraska border, I'd immediately see
Yeah, there's
mountains.
gonna be mountains. This is great.
And I'm
No.
like, this all looks very familiar.
No, it's
It's
horrible, and it
more
smells
nothing.
worse.
More
It's-
nothing than you could ever imagine.
It's always gray. It's never sunny.
Thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier.
Exactly. They say about that John Denver.
So you didn't stop at the Danish Windmill Museum in Elkhorn.
We did not stop at all.
disappointing.
We did not stop at all on either trip.
Oh, so I got to ask you, did you rock out some audiobooks?
No.
Oh, come on.
I listened
Come on.
to just a couple sports podcasts to keep up.
Well, that was your problem.
It wasn't long, and it's not long enough of a trip.
You got to just start knocking out chapters.
Yeah, but it's so boring.
Now, the stretch between the Twin Cities and
so
Mason
boring.
City is boring.
Yeah.
For my one semester, I went to the University of Minnesota, and you'd come back home. I believe that I fell asleep between Lakeville and Mason City.
Yeah, you would never.
I don't
notice.
ever remember driving that stretch.
Yeah.
You know,
get to the Diamond Joe Casino. You ever pull off at the Diamond Joe Casino?
I did not.
I've done it before.
Hey, but those. Hey, so
oh my God, a casino! It's amazing.
Oh, I mean, it's a great location. I mean, it's great, like Owatonna, where that is.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got what Cabela's or no? Yeah, Cabela's.
Here's the redeeming quality actually about driving through Iowa. You could sports bet. You could just sports bet on your phone while you're driving. No, we don't. We don't want you to use your phone while driving, but have somebody else
you have a co-pilot.
put in some sports bet.
You talk through the parlays.
Promo code Happer.
Yep. Did I do that a couple times yesterday and Friday or Saturday? Yeah, I did.
But you want to know something? So during the NCAA tournament, I was over at Prairie Meadows and just stopped in to put down a bet and won. I have to go back to Prairie Meadows to
Correct.
I can't go, even though we have a Caesars here. I can't go to the sports book here and say, "Hey, I won." It's a pretty good amount of money. And they're like, "Nope, you got to go to Prairie Meadows."
That's not
come
great.
back.
That's not great.
No,
That's why you put in huge long shot bets before you leave Vegas, and then it cashes, and then you say, "Well, I got to go back.
Gotta go back to Vegas.
I go back to," and that's how they get you. In my pocket, I hold a Miami Dolphins Super Bowl champions ticket for 2022 because there was a day when I was in Vegas this past year that I thought that the Dolphins were going to get Tom Brady. I was like, "Let's do this. I'm jumping in. I'm getting the edge. We're going for it." So if that happens to pay out, which it will not, I'll be headed back to Vegas for free.
So famously, Tom Brady, not with the Dolphins.
That is correct. He
Okay.
just plays golf now on Instagram.
Nice.
and plays golf tomorrow. The big
Yeah, what's with
match
this thing
is
being
tomorrow.
on the middle of the week, in the
He
middle
hit
of
a
the
hole in one,
day?
didn't he?
Yeah,
Recently?
allegedly.
It wasn't a hole in one. It was like from the fairway, but he holed it out from looked like probably 150 out.
Okay. There was a drone following it.
There was. We were doubting its credibility.
Oh, you don't think it was real?
No.
It seemed.
Yeah, the whole match thing tomorrow with Allan and Mahomes and Rodgers and Brady. Yeah, on a Wednesday.
Why is this not on a Saturday or a Sunday of a slow sports weekend?
Right. Well, baseball regionals.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting for us, but
But have these
You got to
things,
stay out of
though,
the way. It's a TV monster.
you know, like we got excited during the pandemic because nothing was going on. And we got to see Barkley and Brady's pants split open. And that was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much I care about this.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was better with you needed a professional golfer
Yes,
in there.
yes.
Like
Yeah.
you needed Phil. Honestly, it specifically needed Phil. And
Or-
now we can't do that anymore.
you know, I mean, what last year we got Koepka and Bryson were
yeah,
playing.
Yeah.
And that really didn't amount to much.
They were pretty boring.
Yeah.
They were pretty boring.
I think people thought the animosity would make for better television, and it did not.
I feel like
Not great.
Two
if
people
I was
just
in the
ignoring each other.
if my partner in that match was Phil Mickelson, he could make he would come up with a few tricks to make me probably 5 to 10 shots better in one round.
When these first started, you remember nighttime golf? And
Yeah.
they illuminated a golf course and
Yeah.
it was Tiger versus Phil.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Didn't they do a Tiger Sergio one early too?
Probably.
I
Yeah,
think one of
there
the
was
early
definitely a
ones
Sergio moment.
was
But they made a
Tiger
big deal about a
Sergio.
golf course being lit up.
And I could be wrong on this, was like one of the first Tiger Phil ones, was that pay-per-view?
Yes.
One of
Okay.
them was pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first one that I can remember was Tiger Sergio on like ABC. And I think it was right after was it the Masters or US Open where Sergio had made his run and pushed Tiger pretty hard there. And so it was it was early 2000s. It was a super big deal. And I tuned in. That might be the last time I tuned into one of these. About 20 years ago.
Might not do anything tomorrow, late afternoon. You can watch Brady and Rodgers, Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Sure.
I'm gonna see if I can catch some more cricket.
Brady will come up with some one-liners, come up with a couple jokes.
There should be like a 3-drink minimum for these
Mahomes,
for the players.
Mahomes is act really uninteresting though. That's what people don't.
He's aggressively boring.
Correct. And I think because he's kind of out, he's very public, right? He represents a lot of things and brands and stuff
And
like
he
that.
kind of looks interesting.
Yeah, and
Like
he's-
with the hair and stuff. He's got
Yeah.
an interesting look.
But he's really boring. We've tried to make him seem interesting for the last 5 years, and he's really not interesting.
The
Also,
only
he
my
likes
guy to play
ketchup.
Football. That's all.
That's good. You want
Yeah,
that.
he
You
is,
want that as your quarterback.
Yeah, he's like in terms of and he'd be considered a superstar in the NFL. You're right. He's got a Kermit the Frog voice.
Mhm.
He is everywhere, but he's got a different look, with the hair, and he doesn't
Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's
he
kind of
does
an
some
awkward
like
guy.
style choices that make him
Yeah.
seem like he could be interesting, but he's really, really
See,
not.
I think he's
All he
he's a-
says is "Let's go."
He's a starting quarterback in the NFL that, still acts like he's about 17, 18 the way he dresses.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's perfect for Kansas City.
And he has a brother who does TikToks. Well, not anymore.
Did his brother do a TikTok after him and his wife announced they're having another kid?
It's a good question. I haven't seen Jackson on TikTok.
Had
lately.
to.
That's probably for the best. I think we need less Jackson Mahomes in our lives.
Patrick Mahomes is going to have 2 kids under the age of 2.
But he can afford a nanny, so that's nice.
Yeah, but I'm worried about sleep and focus.
Oh, really? Would you like to expand a little bit more on this?
Well, I mean, whenever you're a young parent, you're trying to be a professional athlete. It can kind of get in the way.
Would it?
But
was-
he's making up for lost time apparently.
I feel like if it were me, and maybe this is, maybe the relationship with the wife wouldn't go so well. I feel like the house is big enough. You can hire a full-time nanny. You seclude yourself from that situation. You say, listen, I gotta go. I got a job to do. I gotta make
You're not having a kid to not hang out with it.
No, you hang out with it later during the off
You
season.
delay and hang out with it.
Ravi, I'm going to tell you.
I don't
would
plan to
say
have
with
kids, by the
Brittany
way.
Matthews, that you cannot avoid.
There
her.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk
That's
about
an important point.
talk
here.
about the Q rating.
That's fair.
Like
okay.
Mahomes is pretty popular. He doesn't do anything to embarrass himself or the team. But then his wife is a very polarizing
Sure.
person who, they're at the Dallas Golden State game the other night and they're sitting courtside and the camera catches like Patrick Mahomes when he's not smiling. He's just sitting there chilling and they look at his wife and they both at the time look miserable.
Yep.
And so everybody's like, oh my God. And then it became,
This is a common thing with them now.
and
This
then
has
it be-
happened a lot.
Oh yeah. And she gets ripped apart because then, that got put on Twitter. And so I made the mistake of reading comments and like, oh my God, look she had something done to her lips.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Now, she does bring some of it upon herself by the way she acts at games.
Well,
But
she's
so
featured
different.
in
She's
a
so
lot of
different from her
TikToks with
husband.
Jackson.
Her
Yes.
husband is like universally liked in the NFL.
Yeah.
Good-natured guy, kind of innocent. but one of the
But
best
they've like been
quarterbacks.
together forever.
Yep.
This is not like a
I think that's why they're together.
yeah.
Like if they met,
Lack of
but
options.
it's not a
No, no,
situation.
not lack of
Okay,
options.
No, I
No.
give him credit because here's the thing. Remember RG3?
yes,
Remember when he was going at Baylor and he won the Heisman, and there was a big deal about he was still with his, they were like grade school.
Mm.
And you remember then they got married
yeah,
and boom, he got famous in the NFL and she got dumped to the curb.
Wow.
He moved on. You know what? That could be easy to do as a professional athlete when you get more attention and more people in your life
This
to say,
isn't- for me, this isn't even about an athlete thing, not athlete thing. For me, it's about, okay, because they're high school, right? Brittany and Patrick.
Mhm.
So you're a really different person by the time you get to, I
Right.
know.
Yeah, I remember.
Listen, it works sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Connor thought once he got big
I know.
at the ticket, he was like,
I guess I didn't get big enough. I have to keep my wife.
It's a good thing she locked that
I got-
down before you made the move to 1620.
I got
She
more
bought-
people
she bought
sliding
low.
into my DMs.
I'm just saying, listen, it's admirable. If it works for you, I'm more than happy. But I think a lot of these people, there's it's like their only attachment back to a normal life, right? And I think sometimes there's a comfort in that for a professional athlete that can make it harder to let go of, even if you're very different people by the time you're adults. And it's much more dramatic with a professional athlete than it is with a very well-known local radio
do you
host like
think
Connor
that-
Happer.
Do you think that a athlete can live a normal life away from the competition field?
Not
Depending on
Not
who you
Patrick
are, not Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
there's
But imagine
fairly
this.
anonymous guys in the NFL though, right? There's guys that could walk around, we wouldn't recognize them, we'd just be like, man, that's a big guy.
And you would immediately think, okay, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball,
Yes,
soccer.
But you probably don't go up to him, you don't know who it is, you don't go and ask for a picture or whatever. Maybe you go up and be like, hey, you play something? And that's probably the extent of it. That guy can probably live a mostly normal life.
I think we've seen this happen in sports too. What would you do if
Hunter
you-
Renfro can live a normal life. Nobody recognizes him as a professional athlete at all.
What would you do if you were 21 years old and somebody gave you $50 million?
I would not handle it well.
I don't think that I would either. In fact, I could tell you what I would do in general. I would never grow up. I would just be a
Sure.
kid. I would be a kid my entire life.
Sure.
And maybe Patrick. That's kind of what Patrick Mahomes
and you'd
is
have
doing.
all these people around you.
That's why
Yeah.
I say it's not a criticism, but I do think there's, especially for somebody like Patrick Mahomes, that maybe,
A kid who just happened to have $50 million.
well, or $500 million.
$500 million in his case.
Or somebody that maybe doesn't particularly enjoy the fame part of it all, or doesn't embrace it the way, say, his little brother does. Maybe the attachment to something, to a normal period in his life, has a stronger hold over him than maybe having more in common today.
Somebody should ask him this.
You know who?
I'm going to. I'll slide in his DMs. I'll slide in Brittany's DMs.
you
She'll
know
know.
somebody who I thought
Hey,
was
why?
very,
Why are you guys still together?
very uncomfortable with money and attention is, and I got to see his firsthand, Joe Mauer. So
Yeah.
Joe Mauer, his entire life was like the greatest athlete in the Twin Cities.
Sure.
As a youth in high school, I mean, he could have been the quarterback at
I would
Florida
say
State. He went
spurned by
first overall.
Seminoles.
And now he's gone.
Yeah,
We don't hear from Joe
he
anymore.
loves that life.
Yeah.
He loves it. He can be a dad to his twins, the rest of his family. But like
See,
when he
Joe
was-
Mauer waited to be a dad.
But
It's
see
fine.
here, I also think it's where you grew up. He grew up in the Twin Cities, where it's kind of like you're a Minnesotan. Minnesota, nice, whatever.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
of a sudden, you got all this attention. Everybody knows you. Everybody wants your autograph. All of a sudden, you're getting all this kind of money. You live in a house on Fort Myers Beach that has an elevator in it. For God's sake, I don't think he handled that very well. Where everybody knew who he was,
Sure.
even though there's every right to know who he is because he's Joe Mauer.
Yeah.
and he stayed home and he's playing for the Twins. But when he got away, he got completely out of the
out.
spotlight.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I mean,
He's out. He's gone. Has anybody heard from Andrew Luck lately?
I think that's tough for some athletes.
Actually, Andrew Luck did show up on TV.
Yeah, he showed up at
Yeah.
a football game
Yeah, and he was real
Yeah.
skinny, and everybody went, "Oh,
looking like he was an extra
Well, he's
from
probably-
They
Breaking
literally pulled
Bad.
him out
You know
of
what?
the
Probably
forest,
Andrew
yeah.
Luck is about as happy as can be.
Oh yeah, Andrew Luck.
I
loves
can't
this.
say that for Joe, but I know Joe, away from the spotlight of the Twins, loves it.
Yeah, I think there's an assumption that because you're really good at a sport, you like all the trappings of it as well. And I think for a lot of guys, that's just not the case. Man,
I got the sense that Andrew Luck never needed football. Joe Mauer, we can't even separate. We can't separate baseball or sports from Joe Mauer. That's a little bit of a different story where it makes sense to me that Andrew Luck just was like,
peace out. I'm done here.
Yeah.
My shoulder still hurts. I'm gone.
Yeah. I think it was more about him disconnecting from football rather than I don't like the fame or anything like that.
Which
with
is
Mauer, it's I don't need it.
We are seeing with Aaron Donald right now, right? Where he's talking about, I don't need football. If the contract doesn't work out, I'm good. It's kind of he's obviously a very different personality than Andrew Luck, or at least his voice is really different. I can't really separate the two. I can't be like, oh, he's not a Muppet, so it's fine. But it seems like a very similar vibe where he's just like, if this, I'm good to just walk away. And you don't see that with a ton of guys.
Well, a lot of us don't understand that. You're at the height of your game.
That's because we've never been that good at anything ever.
That a guy could sit there and go, yeah, you know what? I was at the Heat Celtics game the other night. I'm good. I got what I wanted.
Well, right.
As a fan, you go, what?
Yeah.
You don't ever understand that.
Yeah.
But for somebody to be able to say that in his position, you're like, what are you doing? Because he'll get knocked. If I think he's going to run it back. But if he stepped away, look at the people that retire early.
Oh, you get hammered.
I mean, Barry Sanders, Robert Smith. Remember Robert Smith of Vikings?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Patrick Willis with the Niners.
When was the last time you saw Megatron?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
He did a good job. I mean, the Lions might bring him back into the family, but when he walked away, he walked away.
I think when it happens to the Lions, everybody gets it. They're like, no, we understand, man.
It's been a hard 10
it's like
years.
You age in dog years in Detroit. So I think we get
Chance.
that. But no, I think there's a lot of, and I also think as fans, we don't realize, okay, it's not just that they've been in the NFL for 7 years or whatever. It's they've been doing this their entire life.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just done, right? Like we talk about Jay Wright when he retires and he's 60 or whatever, 59, whatever he was. We're like, oh, he's not even that old. It's like he's been coaching for 40 years.
Yeah, I've talked about this before too. I think the shelf lives on just everybody is going to be is just shorter.
It is, but I also just think we don't realize, because they've only been in our consciousness for so long, that we don't realize that this has been their literal entire life and they might be done.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Gentlemen, thanks.
Hap.
Thanks, Connor.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Robbie Week here on 1620 The Zone. We're back. More up next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show.
Sam, would you agree that onions are the most valuable vegetable?
Yeah, they're valuable. Broccoli's awfully valuable too. I don't know. I mean, I think onions way up there. Certainly a versatile operation.
That's what we're looking for.
One thing you can't do with onions is you can't really have them as a side dish. And broccoli, you can. Usually onions are part of the dish. You don't have an onion salad, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a better salad on the planet than a broccoli, bacon, cranberry salad. That's one heck of a salad.
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
The sunny skies will continue for your Tuesday afternoon with a high temperature of 79 degrees. Northwest breeze sustained about 10 to 20 miles an hour, could gust as high as 30. For tonight, mostly clear skies with a low temperature of 52 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
Dads Want Steak. Visit omahasteaks.com, type Bishop in the search bar, and order the Dads Want Steak Pack today.
Did you know that Kentucky bluegrass isn't from Kentucky? It came from Europe. And what we call Dutch elm disease actually originated in Asia. This is Chuck Monaco with CM's Outdoor, now part of the Ryan Lawn and Tree family. And while you may know us as experts in everything lawn, trees, and landscape, you may not know that we're also experts in pest control. After all, you want to do more than just look at your beautiful lawn. You want to fully enjoy it. A certified CM's and Ryan Pest Control Pro can free your outdoor oasis from ants and spiders, fleas and ticks, rodents, mosquitoes, and more. Our home insect barrier won't let them escape inside either. And unlike other companies, our employee-owner Pest Control Pros are cross-trained in plant science to help make sure that your beautiful and livable landscape stays that way. Visit bestomahaLawn.com for a free estimate. Sign up for our complete Pest Guard Plus annual program, and your first application is free. Enjoy a pest-free summer at bestomahaLawn.com.
Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. Host Coffee is hiring a service technician. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops, 72nd and Jones, or the Shadow Lake Town Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. Cops Shadow Lake Town Center just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, 72nd and Jones, and the Shadow Lake Town Center. Click copspizza.com to see the extensive new Shadow Lake menu.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
All right, welcome in. We are back, and guess what? Here's the good news. It's Tuesday already. We're working our way through the week already. We haven't even done anything. Great job, Josh.
One segment. We're on the second day of the week. I love it.
Great job, everybody. We are now into the thick of it as far as summer is concerned, and the college football calendar. We'll start getting the preseason magazines here shortly, if that hasn't already happened. We're getting closer and closer. Josh has it up on the stream, one of the graphics up on the stream. 88 days till college football, 100 days from the NFL.
It's all downhill from here, guys.
Yeah, we're close.
And gals.
It's right around the corner. Until then, we'll watch the Royals in their dual 150 hitting first baseman toil their way through the summer. Everyone will do this, right? Oh, not every Major League Baseball fan is in pain. Got it. So welcome everyone. We'll have Allan Bell here in just a little bit. There was some talk last week. Remember we talked down. He's like, I don't really know what Tennessee's going to do as far as baseball. How are they going to treat the SEC tournament? Well, they won it. They're better than everybody else. There's a pretty sizable gap in between one and the rest of the field as the road to Omaha is set. We'll talk to Allan about that and the NBA finals that are set as well.
Thank you. The
Josh,
congratulations have been pouring in, and I appreciate it as the Boston Celtics outcultured the culture.
That is a horrible narrative to pick.
No, it's the absolutely correct narrative.
That is you don't even know how wrong that is.
The Heat are so tough. They're formed in barbed wire. They eat glass for breakfast.
Yes.
But they can't win basketball games.
This was my takeaway from that entire series. Respect to the Miami Heat. Shout out to the Miami Heat. Just salute, I respect you. I respect the respect in honor of Jeter being on Twitter now.
Yeah,
sure,
Jeets.
Yeah, I'm sure ESPN will have a nice 14-part documentary on that.
Another platform for him to say absolutely nothing on.
Yeah, has he even tweeted yet?
He has tweeted once. It was he basically old takes exposed someone.
Really?
Yeah, his first tweet was a retweet of someone saying, "There's no reason Jeter shouldn't have a Twitter account," and he responds with, "Well, yes, I ran out of reasons."
Wow.
Or some lame joke like that.
I give that. Jeets will be good for a tweet every 3 months.
And they'll all,
because he is way too rich and handsome and famous and all that stuff to be in our little cesspool. Taking comments from like jerks on the internet.
Corporate sponsorship. All of them will be corporate sponsored.
Hashtag
yep.
ad.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So yeah, that won't be happening very much. Okay, so to the NBA Finals thing. And by the way, the ESPN update that went out right after the game ended was like, Jason Tatum carries his team.
Mm-hmm.
This Jason Tatum thing has gone out of control.
Mm-hmm. No, he's LeBron and Michael Jordan all rolled into one. I don't know if you knew this, Connor.
Yeah, only, they'll come up with any stat necessary to compare Jason Tatum to any of the
How many Larry Bird trophies does LeBron have? How many Larry Bird trophies did Michael Jordan win?
Jason Tatum won the first ever Larry Bird trophy. It's perfect.
The Celtics won the first ever Bob Cousy trophy as Eastern Conference champions.
You see what I'm talking about here? So there's a reason why America was rooting for the Heat over the weekend. It's because we just get this Celtics stuff and it killed, like they get it shoved down our throat constantly.
One shot for your life, Jimmy.
So just imagine what will happen when the Celtics like push this series to 6. That'll be viewed as a huge win, right? Because nobody could ever dream of beating this Warriors. Like that's what it's already being built up. Like the Warriors aren't. Spoiler alert: the Warriors aren't that much better than anybody else in the NBA.
The scrappy
Celtics,
underdog Boston Celtics.
You see what I'm talking about?
No, I actually agree with you, but I mean, what am I? I'm not gonna take a victory lap today.
So I respect the Miami Heat. I respect Jimmy Butler. All of that more so than I was even, impressed by the Celtics, who, as one of the hosts in here said during the break, the Celtics suck.
It wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't Josh.
It was that Miami Heat fan.
But if you're a Miami Heat fan today, you're like, yes, we are officially one of those organizations who can just do it with our infrastructure. In Pat Riley, we trust. In Eric Spoelstra, we trust, and nothing else really matters.
First year coach Ime Udoka out-coached Eric Spoelstra. A lot of you are, by the way, if I could give an NBA Finals preview real quick.
Did I want that shot to go in?
A lot of you are going to find out that Jason Tatum has an adorable child and that the Celtics head coach is married to a famous actress. A lot of you are going to learn that on Thursday night.
I can't tell you how bad I wanted that shot to go in.
I think if you're a Heat fan today, you're questioning the NBA's replay system, and I think that might be valid.
Like, Jimmy Butler, he's playing every minute, and all of a sudden Marcus Smart starts chucking up shots in the last minute or two of the game, 3 minutes of the game.
I got this, Jason. You take a break.
What, the Celtics were up by, 13 with under 4?
Yeah, they almost gagged the whole thing away.
Thanks to Marcus Smart.
Chucking it.
And Jimmy Butler is like, you know what? My body physically can't sustain an overtime.
So I will play hero ball.
I'm not going to try and take Al Horford to the rim here because I know that I'm going to have to get murdered just to get to the foul line because we're playing against the Boston Celtics. So here's what I have to do. I got Al Horford backing up. I'm going to pull up. And I respect that so much. And he missed it, because he had no legs. That was an off-balance shot, But, man, I respect it. So the Heat, for me, have won the respect championship. Congratulations to them.
Okay, do they put banners up in arenas for that?
The respect championship.
I mean, at the Garden, there's just no room for respect banners. They only put real banners up in the Garden.
I'll send them a plaque or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat are definitely now they're one of those. They're like the Celtics in that way. Like, they're going to be in that conversation based on the fact that they do a lot of stuff that is not like the stuff that is not on the court. The infrastructure, the people that you have in charge, the people you have in place, they do that better than anybody else in the league. And some of these teams are just going to lean on that. In fact, the final 3 teams we had are probably all examples of that.
Thanks for signing Victor Oladipo, Miami. It went real well for you.
You can't Josh, you can't be like over the moon.
Connor.
Like, how happy are you here?
How happy am I? I mean,
your team's in the NBA Finals, but they suck.
On Christmas, January 1st,
I know, they were like
MLK Day, they
500.
were
Yeah.
hovering around the play-in tournament. So I'm kind of thrilled right now.
I'm just telling you. I don't know if you've heard this or not. They're just not that good.
I don't know if you heard, Steph Curry got his golf clubs refitted today, so literally, there's video of him walking out of a sporting goods store with like all of his clubs in his arm. So I think he doesn't think he's got a lot of work left.
Now, before we go there, I will say this: why not? Why can't the Celtics win?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't,
why not?
I don't think they're very good, but why can't they win? I think
if healthy, they're pretty good. But
I think what'll happen this week on the what do they call them on the afternoon show, the chit chat shows? I think what'll happen on the chit chat shows this week is that the Warriors will be made out to be an enormous beast that cannot be slayed.
The dynasty that no one can stop.
And that is just not the case. That's simply not the case. They're good. And the Celtics are good too. Like, they're bad, but they're good. You know what I mean? So I don't see any reason why the Warriors have to win this in a runaway.
Look, the last week of the regular season, I saw the writing on the wall. And I took the Golden State Warriors plus 600 to win the NBA championship.
Good on you. Plus 600, by the way.
Has become an extreme emotional hedge all of a sudden. I win either way.
Good for you, Josh.
Yeah.
And you saw Top Gun Maverick last night on a whim.
I really did.
My phone will not stop showing me that part of the movie where it appears as if they're recreating the volleyball scene from the original Top Gun.
They did.
And
they knew it too.
And Miles Teller, for whatever reason, goes into slow motion and starts he's like, everybody's losing their mind over Miles Teller now.
They're playing football in the sand. He's rocking a mustache just like his father, Anthony Edwards.
I have seen that clip now 500 times over the last couple of days.
The movie, the sequel, and no spoilers, also did the thing that the original did where everyone is sweaty throughout the entire movie.
Good job. Yes, it was maybe one of the sweatier movies that I can remember.
It got every last detail right.
like the colors of it and everything. It's just, like there's a red around the entire movie.
Yeah, it looks hot.
Right.
And it's just California, which is a warmer state.
Is it back in Miramar?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I've got some questions. We can't openly discuss the movie yet because it's only been out for like 5 days or
and
whatever.
I haven't seen it.
But I have some questions. I did some internet research after the movie. Most of it all centers around Jennifer Connelly's character.
Is that going to be your top 5 today?
Who is she? No, it's the first show of the week, so it's top 5 winners of the weekend.
Oh, yes. There was a long weekend that we just had. And there was a few things that happened. We have a field for an Road to Omaha set. We have some storylines. We have some snubs, which we will get to, of course, during the show. And we have an absolutely incredible story in baseball that we have to discuss at length today.
I have a lot of questions because I didn't follow the story because I didn't believe it. And now it turns out that is actually what happened. And I am confused.
It seemed like a bit. It doesn't feel like it's a bit. So let's just do that next. The Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham fantasy football saga. We'll dive deep into it next here on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Have your mom friends shared all the hacks? You know, the prepping bottles before you go to bed so you don't have to make them in the middle of the night kind of hacks. Here's one more. Give yourself a 4th trimester, the time you need to relax, restore, and take care of anything that doesn't feel right, like sore hips or even peeing when you sneeze. Athletico Physical Therapy can help you rebuild your pelvic floor muscles and work through any postpartum aches and pains. No prescription needed in most states and services covered by insurance. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Living is all about great experiences. We invite you to experience everything that Sarpy County has to offer. The great outdoors awaits you at Fontenelle Forest or Schramm State Park. As the pro sports capital of Nebraska, grab your family and enjoy an Omaha Storm Chasers or Union Omaha game at Werner Park. Nothing beats watching your child catch their first foul ball or perhaps a fish at one of Sarpy's many reservoirs. Visit GoSarpy.com to plan your next experience this spring.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the 75th NBA Finals. And to celebrate 75 years of the NBA, they are giving all customers a $75 referral bonus. That is right. You'll give and get $75 in site credit when you invite a friend to America's #1 sportsbook. All you got to do, invite your friend to the app, and as soon as your friend makes any bet of at least $10, you'll both get a bonus.
That's right. And make sure that they sign up with your referral link. So if you're new to FanDuel, you can also sign up with our promo code 1620 to get free bets after your first bet. That's promo code 1620. The offer ends June 2nd when game 1 of the finals tips off. Don't miss this chance to bet the finals with a $75 bonus. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Referred players must wager $10 or more within 28 days after signing up. Limit 10 referrals. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires after 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
1180 The Zone is your home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball. The Storm Chasers are in action at Werner Park and beyond with an exciting team filled with future Major League stars. Join Jake Eisenberg for every pitch, every hit, and every out. Tune in and stir up the storm all season long on 1180 The Zone.
The Storm Chasers are at home versus the Indianapolis Indians. The pregame is set for 6:45, and first pitch is at 7:05 on 1180 The Zone.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to find savings. But you may have more cash than you realize in your home's equity. Unlock it today with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars from your home. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could get all that cash in as little as 3 weeks. Put your hard-earned money to work. Pay down high-interest debt and combine your balances into one simple, low monthly payment. Now is your perfect opportunity to take control of your financial future. So what are you waiting for? When you want to consolidate debt and simplify your finances, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. The Equal Housing Lender, licensed in all 50 states, and NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Damon Benning from Sharp and Benning in the morning. When Lee Franklin Jr. moved to Omaha, he brought his love for Louisiana cooking with him. That's when he and his partner, Montoya Johnson, opened a Taste of New Orleans Creole Cafe inside of Ted and Wally's in Benson. A Taste of New Orleans is the go-to spot in the 402 for authentic Cajun and Creole cuisine. Andouille fries and sausage, beignets, po' boys, jambalaya gumbo, and so much more. A Taste of New Orleans Creole Cafe inside of Ted and Wally's in Benson. And be on the lookout for their food truck coming to a stop near you.
All right, folks, we have a new license plate here in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, what is this thing?
Looks pretty bland, pretty generic, if we're being honest. But here's a positive spin, positive boys. That's okay. You know,
yeah,
bland,
I guess it's better than having an ugly license
bland
plate.
generic is fine because we could very easily go back to remember the ones that looked like your license plate was on fire, the red and yellow,
the sunset
black
license plate.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a
stood out
choice.
like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Just blend in with the rest of them. That's fine. I'm good with that. It looks like the new ones are just a pretty bland, generic, white background with blueprint, navy blueprint, and like a mural in the background. I think it's a mural that is located somewhere in the state capital.
Yeah, which everyone, when you're traveling, when you're driving to Indiana or Ohio, they will definitely know that is a painting that is inside the Nebraska Capitol building.
I don't know what it even is depicting. It's just a guy with long, like he's really ripped and
he's shirtless.
Yeah, he's not wearing a shirt. He seems to only be wearing like a towel over his bottom half as well. And he's either shooting something out of his fist or is a Wolverine man. Has a claw. I don't know what it is. I would love to know the history on it before I pass down too much judgment. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely make fun of that part. But that is not the primary deal here. It's in the background. You probably can't even see it from the road. Just, it's simple, it's white, it has navy blue font on it.
Is it navy or purple, or am I colorblind?
I don't think it's purple.
Okay.
If it's purple, then we might have an issue.
The one photo we have of these things it's good, but it's not great.
Okay, so here are the license plates that I can remember. We have the one that we have right now, which once again is fine.
It's too suggestive.
Suggestive?
Yeah, that guy is holding on to his cod piece on our current license
The
plate.
sower?
Yeah.
How dare you suggest that the sower is sexually suggestive?
Don't care for it. This state is far too prude to have a cod piece on our license plate.
Then we had the one that we had the 5 years before that, which was like yellow and green, and it had the bird on it.
Mm-hmm.
The old meadowlark. The one before that was the blue one, outline of the state.
I like that, except for the Conestoga wagon.
Covered wagon.
Yeah, that's not what you want to be advertising for your state.
Yeah. And then the one before that was, of course, the fire, like, disaster ones that were completely stood out among the other ones.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was, pretty normal. I think this is what license plates should be. Hey, this is what it is. It is not really much to it here. And here are the letters and numbers that we need to identify you in your car. Also, you're from Nebraska. And maybe if you want to put a slogan on there, like say the beef state, the Cornhusker state,
the good life.
Great, feel free.
I'm looking at the history of Nebraska license plates. I'd take anything from 87 to 98. Those 4 plates during that time. That's what I'm looking for in a license plate. Just very plain, very says the name of the state.
But this is a big deal because this is now your life for the next 5 years, starting in 2023. And I'm glad because I have now piled on too many stickers onto the sticker section, and the stickers won't stay on there anymore.
That's not a thing. You're the only one that has that problem.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I love the passion.
We have done this before. Okay,
We have.
Like clean it off and it sticks.
Nope.
You're telling me you just put it all you just put the sticker on there and full dirt and it doesn't fall off at all?
That is correct.
The corners aren't peeling off or anything like that?
Nope. 100% stick retention on my car.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm the only person. I don't know. Maybe I just get car washes more frequently.
That is entirely possible.
I'm not sure. I do like a good car wash, that's for sure. Okay. Important story out of Major League Baseball over the weekend. This is not the best thing I saw in baseball. We have different things for that. That one will feature a good friend, Nick Castellanos.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
He did what he does.
I got theories about that, but that's later.
So we'll have that later. Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham. If you don't know what we're talking about, you may have seen the clip of Jock Peterson talking about this on Friday night or Saturday night, and you may have been thinking, what am I watching? Why is this guy standing here telling us about, in a very monotone voice, about some of the things that happened in his fantasy football league? So, Tommy Pham, Jock Peterson, a few other big leaguers, they're in a fantasy football league together. During this fantasy football league, and by the way, the incident in question is people have internet sleuthed this thing. Believe it was in the 2020 season. So we're talking about almost 2 years.
Been holding on to this.
Yes.
Okay.
Been almost 2 years since the incident in question. Tommy Pham accuses Jock Peterson of stashing a guy on the IR. I believe the internet has figured out that it was Jeff Wilson was the player in question.
Okay.
So Jock, he's not on the IR, but he is hurt, and Jock puts him on the IR so he can get another roster spot to add another player. Tommy Pham is triggered by this. He's very angry. He says, hey, you're stashing guys. You can't do this. Jock explains, and he did so in a video, in one of the videos that came out over the weekend, an interview on Saturday night. He explained how this is perfectly legal. And there's nowhere in the league's bylaws where you can't stash a guy on the IR and you can't game the system to your advantage. This is just normal fantasy football stuff. Well, it turns out that Tommy has not forgotten about this and that he is still angry. This ultimately has led to Tommy Pham leaving the league at some point. Jock Peterson has receipts.
The fantasy football league.
The fantasy football league, not Major League Baseball. Which, I don't know. He had to leave it for a couple games. We'll get to that in a second. He leaves the fantasy league after Jock started making fun of him. He posted a GIF to the group chat that he showed the media yesterday, which depicted, I think, a few weightlifters. They all looked really strong, but there was one with a San Diego Padres logo over it, and he wasn't doing quite as much. Basically, You look strong, but you're not strong. Just some good, healthy ribbing, right? In the group chat. This is a normal fantasy football group chat thing. Fast forward to Friday or Saturday. I keep saying Friday because of this long weekend. Tommy Pham approaches Jock Peterson during BP in the outfield, warming up for a Major League Baseball game, and full on rears back and slaps him in the face. And it's full extension.
Like Will Smith on Chris Rock.
Yeah, Will Smith, maybe even a little bit more.
Okay.
Pham is suspended for 3 games. He has comments afterwards. He's not backing down. He doubles, triples down. He says, well, Jock, he bleeped with my money. This is a big fantasy football league, and they're major leaguers, so they're playing for big money probably. Pham is still not happy about this. And it ends up where we are right now, which is we're all sitting here laughing hysterically about this entire thing because it is maybe the best story that we've seen in baseball in a long time. And of course, it involves fantasy football.
I saw the headlines on, what was it, Saturday, that Tommy slapped Jock.
Yep.
I saw later that it was because of a fantasy football thing, and I immediately detached myself from the story because I said, oh, that's not the real reason. So
that can't be right.
So everybody's lying, so I no longer care about getting information because both sides are just lying to me. So why would I care? Turns out that is exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I am now
by both
lost.
parties.
Yeah, and I'm lost. I'm wondering
Well,
how much money needs to be on the table for you to hold this grudge for multiple seasons.
I can tell you what's going on here. Tommy Pham is a jackwagon. He is insane.
Okay, I thought it was my Braves bias being like,
No.
okay, I'm Team Jock in this scenario.
How could you possibly care this much about this? Where he's held this in for almost 2 years, slaps him, takes a suspension from his employer. This has affected his ability to do his job. Takes a suspension and then doubles down and says, I stand by it. The guy messed with my money. This can't, I won't stand for this. It's a total hardo move. What is he doing?
For a guy that has middle of the road stats, like Jeff Wilson?
I have no idea. And it was legal. Every step of the way. And this is what makes it really funny because Jock knows that he's right. He knows that there's no loophole in this thing where he could end up being wrong about the actual incident in question, which was about fantasy football.
Okay, I don't play fantasy football. Is that dirty pool?
This is best case scenario. It's a mutually agreed upon handshake thing. It's going to be it could be frowned upon at most.
Okay,
it could be frowned upon at most.
But this is a gross overreaction.
But this is a generally normal thing that happens in fantasy football.
Okay.
And he lost his mind. I think differently of Tommy Pham now. He's taken this way too far. And the funniest part about the whole thing is Jock talking about it over the last few days. He's given these long, 2, 3, 4 minute answers because like I said before, he knows that he can't be wrong on this. He's got the receipts. So there's a certain confidence that you get, but he stays cool. It's very in a very monotone voice. He explains to us the situation, what happened. We're not going to play the clip for you guys in this show because, like I said, it's 3.5 minutes long. The first one was 3.5 minutes long, and then there was another one yesterday where he whipped out, or yesterday or Sunday, I don't know. Once again, long weekend, where he whipped out his phone and showed reporters the GIF that he sent in the group chat and basically explained the situation again.
So he's a free-flowing source of information because he knows
everything's out there on the table, full transparency.
I'm in the right here.
Right. And I think Tommy knows that he's in the wrong because he accepts the suspension, and then just doubles down and says, "Look, I'm not going to have that. Not on my watch." We're talking about fantasy football, man.
How much money are these guys playing for? Because Jock said he didn't feel at home in Atlanta until he found card games in the back of the plane where they were playing for money. So obviously it has to be a lot to hold a fantasy football grudge for 2 full seasons before acting on it.
Okay. Well, here's the question. Is it enough to recoup the money from the 3-game suspension that he's going to have to serve? I don't know. Is it on that? These guys make a lot of money. 3 games is a lot of money. If we're talking about it from that perspective.
Tommy's on a 1-year, $7.5 million deal.
I mean, this is an insane story. The dumbest. I mean, fantasy football disputes happen like this in every single fantasy football league. But that's what happens. They go into the group chat and then they are mutually decided upon by whatever way the wind blows in the league. And sometimes you got to be the bad guy.
Which leads to more follow-up questions. Can we unearth who is the commissioner of this league? Is there a third baseball player that's
a good question?
Is maybe a lazy commissioner refusing to weigh in on the Jock and Tammy scandal? The Jeff Wilson drama?
This is a good question. I would love to know just a lot more details on this. Honestly, I want to know every detail that there is to offer.
Like, is Haas pulling the strings in the back?
Yeah, I think there's some, from what it sounded like from Jock, there was a few Padres in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, has anybody talked to Eric Hosmer about this?
I feel like it can't be Machado or Tatis running this league because they make significantly more money than everyone else involved.
There's been like this is an opportunity now for like fantasy football content creators to like write stories about this and who's in the right and who's in the wrong from all the details that we know. I mean, just fantastic. I live for this story. I want to hear Jock Peterson talk about this every day.
So I'm looking at the Padres roster.
Are we playing most likely to be in Jock Peterson's fantasy football league?
Well, that's what I started. That's why I went to the Padres roster. And Connor, it happened to me again. I saw the name Robinson Cano.
Yes. Yes. He's on the Padres.
And I had forgotten that story from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He was DFA'd by the Mets, and the Padres were like, sure, we'll pick him up on a flyer.
We'll take a little flyer on him.
It's easy. I think he's doing much over there, but yeah. I don't know if Cano's in the league or if he would comment on this.
Will Myers looks like maybe a fantasy football guy.
Yeah. Yep. There's some, by the way, there's some old, there's some Royals blood on that roster. You got Hosmer, Will Myers came up in the Royals system. There's a couple relievers over there as well. Maybe the Royals are behind this.
Pulling the strings.
John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox. And by the way, you could do that all show long or anytime. Connor at 1620thezone.com. Fantasy football guy is one of the worst guys involved in sports. I don't care about your draft. I don't care about your team.
This is true. Absolutely.
Now, this is what I say because people who don't play fantasy football often have this take.
Okay, and I, as a non-fantasy football player, do have that take.
You should play fantasy football. This is what I try to do every time anybody has this take. Just play. And I'm not saying that you're going to be like this because I'm not going to sit here and do a segment about my fantasy football team, but it'll come up inevitably during the season.
Yeah, if you've got an amusing anecdote.
Yeah, look, Saquon Barkley got hurt again, and I needed him for my fantasy team.
Saquon Barkley got hurt?
I know, surprising, right?
Shocker.
I need it in like it'll come up during the season. I'm just warning you.
Yeah.
In advance. But why don't you I mean, is it a principle thing? You're just out?
I got to it late. I played it a few times and I looked around, I was like, okay, everybody is taking this a lot more seriously than me. I am unprepared. I'm gonna step away. Thank you. Thank you for your time, everyone.
I like the leagues where it does get a little bit, you have the trash talking.
Yeah, I thought
I'm not going to slap someone in public where it could cost me a suspension from my job.
Because again, we don't condone assault on this show.
Nope.
A lot of people have that question about the Connor
Anti-assault.
Happer show.
Yep. Always have been, always will be.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-assault show. What a story. And then we have a couple more things from baseball a little bit later on. Hey, by the way, before we get to Allan Bell here, a question that we asked on Friday was verbatim, will there be a Big Ten tournament game that starts after 10:54 p.m.? And the answer was a resounding yes.
What if that game would not have ended in 7? What if it needed the full 9? It would have ended at 4 a.m., right?
Let's go to Rutgers, Indiana. On Sunday night, game started at 11:53 and took 2 hours and 40 minutes.
There was a rain delay somewhere in there. It was one pitch away from being a game that counted, and then the Lightning took over.
Just good old-fashioned fun at the Big Ten tournament this week, including Michigan bid stealing from Rutgers.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Oh, we got to talk about a little bit about the baseball field as we go on throughout the show today. But no, wasn't a good weekend for the Big Ten. Wasn't a good week, really, for the Big Ten.
I'm sure they made a lot of money, and it was very worth everything that it took to put that tournament on.
You got to show you care a little bit. You got to show you care a little bit about baseball. You got to have some representation on the committee to get some teams in as well. But Rutgers, I saw them a couple times this year. I mean, they were in Nebraska actually quite a bit. They played in Lincoln. They played in Omaha, and then they played in Omaha again. By the way, you think they're regretting that stop off on the way back from Hawaii to play at Tal Anderson Field for 3 games? Yeah, I think they are. Omaha might have spoiled them out of an at-large bid there, but they still had their opportunities. I'm telling you, from a person who's seen that team, I thought that team was pretty good. They won 40-plus games. That's usually an NCAA tournament team. That's usually an at-large sort of like profile. But they're in the Big Ten, and what the committee decided this year was that they were going to look at non-conference strength of schedule a lot. And that does not bode well usually for the Big Ten teams. Either that or you're going to make yourself a really, really difficult February.
Hey, they swept Houston Baptist.
Didn't do much.
Rutgers beat St. Joe.
Couldn't beat Omaha 2 out of 3. They kept them. That may have kept them out of the tournament. Okay, so more on baseball a little bit later in the show. We'll come back with Allan Bell on some of the things to look at for the NBA Finals. We'll go around some sports betting, gambling questions as well. Next with AB on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Want to do something nice for a veteran? Then stop by any 42 Degree location and receive an extra discount with your donation of can or box food and hygiene products for the Veterans Food Pantry of Omaha. Donate 2 cans and receive an extra 5%. 4 get you 10%. 6 or more, 15%. With multiple locations, the most knowledgeable and friendliest staff, and a drop-off point for all your food and hygiene products for the Veterans Food Pantry. 42 Degrees, the source by your mom's house.
CM's Outdoor, now a proud part of Ryan Lawn and Tree. For a limited time, get your first lawn or pest application for free. Schedule a free estimate at bestomahala.lawn.com. That's bestomahala.lawn.com.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. When you want to go local to an event, sit in the front row, you want to go national and have the best seats, where do you go? I go to ticketsforless.com. They always have the best selection with the best prices. You can score great deals online at ticketsforless.com and no service fees at checkout. You want to go to the College World Series. You want to go to Lincoln to a football game. You want to go to an away football game. You want to go to the Orpheum. You want to go to Arrowhead to see the Chiefs play. Ticketsforless.com has your seats. Score great deals today. It's easy, it's fast, and no service fees at checkout. Ticketsforless.com.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Nebraska for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey, Jimmy, turn off the video games. Let's go play some ball.
I'm in the middle of my game. Can't we go later?
Come on, it'll be fun. It will be there when you get back.
Okay, but there's no way you're gonna win.
Why don't you grab some water and granola bars, and then we'll see about that.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
French food, and not just small portions and high prices. Les Voltaire is anything but. Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, special occasions, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines and craft cocktails with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
Listen for the screwball of the day this week on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Could be someone screwy or nutty, but worthy of the screwball of the day title. Brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey, now available near you.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Allan Bell. Sportsline. On the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're joined now by Allan Bell of Sportsline, also the host of the Early Edge podcast. Allan, hello. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. You doing all right?
I'm doing good. So I listened for a little bit I listened on Saturday, I think it was, and I found myself like in a trance as Mike was giving the weather / humidity breakdown. I know he does this all the time, but like even the edges in baseball where you have to look into what the weather is going to be like and the air density and stuff like that. I'm absolutely fascinated by that stuff. So I was locked in and I followed a couple and I was able to profit. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible, and he's incredible. Like in terms of like breaking it down, and for anybody that didn't listen, Mike McClure, on the Early Edge with us. I mean, he was breaking down why humidity is good in baseball in terms of water molecules being lighter than oxygen molecules. Like, I mean, he went into this entire thing, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, and take the Royals, team total over 3.5. That's why it's going to work out." And it hit.
It hit instantly. Yeah. Yes, they had 7 or something like that.
It's just it's incredible, man. So it's like people like that who know how to use all of the tools around them, and that's something that we all can do, right? Like, I mean, you can look it up, in terms of humidity, in terms of weather, things like that. So that I was the same as you. Like on the show, I was like, my God, this is incredible.
Yeah, but like, so you could do it in terms of, well, I wonder what is it going to be colder? Is it going to be warmer? Is the wind going to be blowing in and out? And most people think about it that way, but we're talking about water molecules. I'm locked all the way in.
Me too. Like that's the next time that I give a baseball flight pick, like if he's on there, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm taking the. You know what? I'm gonna take the Cardinals today because it's hot, and then just see when he looks at me like an idiot.
Exactly. It's not that. It's not that boilerplate. Not that easy. All right, Alan Bell. So what did we think? How did we end up with a Game 7 like we did the other night in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then a finals matchup, which I don't know about you. I think it could get sort of interesting. What we're going to see this week, I think a lot of is, are the Warriors are going to be made out to be this sort of beast of a team. I don't know that is totally accurate. I guess, where do you start when you're looking at the NBA Finals?
Yeah, so you break it down and look, kind of where these two teams are. Golden State has had some rest and is already healthy, right? Boston's going to get a couple days rest, much needed. They're not as banged up as Miami was, but they're not in full. You're going to see some questionables pop up, but yeah, man, like the whole thing to me comes down to Golden State, right? Like if they're shooting and multiple guys are hitting, and Klay Thompson is hitting, good luck. What are you going to do? And if you're looking at kind of handicapping this thing, I'll tell you this. Throughout the playoffs so far, Golden State to an average is good for about 114 points. Give or take 4, right? They've been pretty consistent in regards to that. So that kind of gives you a baseline of like, okay, all right, that's kind of where I'm at. If you can figure out Boston in terms of their points, then you can start to make good decisions, in terms of, playing spreads, playing money lines, playing totals, whatever. And Boston can score. So I think, long story short, I think we're going to have a great series. I'll say this. If you're giving me Golden State in Game 1 at home, minus 3.5, buddy, I'm taking that all day long.
You like that? Yeah, I mean, Game 1 seems like a bit of a Warriors edge there. You never know exactly how you come off of the rest. I saw the video that you tweeted out of Steph Curry walking out of the golf shop today, getting his clubs regripped. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, Warriors Game 1 seems good. Do you ever look into the bets where, in how many games, or actually picking the order in which the series sort of happened? I mean, those are super long shots, but maybe take a couple shots in there.
Yeah, I do. And I'll say this. In finals, when you've got two pretty good teams, and quite frankly, we've got two pretty even teams. Like Boston's a good basketball. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you can take a look at essentially 5, 6, 7. And 6 or 7 are going to be kind of your money plays there. And the good thing is that, you're going to be able to get those numbers to where you can play both. And you got to hedge yourself, and guarantee it. We did it last series in regards to the Celtics and the Heat, right? So, yeah, man, like you got attractive options there. And you could play these finals a lot of different ways because, let's be honest, it's pretty rare that you get a sweep, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're going to go at minimum 5 games. Probably 6 games. It could be 7 games. So, yeah, I'm with you. There's options there for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think 6 is usually the sort of sweet spot, and then if we're lucky enough to get a Game 7, that's just house money. Unless you're a fan of one of the teams, like producer Josh over here.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick before you next. What you're looking for essentially is, can Boston steal one at Golden State? Like, can Boston steal a game on the road? If they do, buddy, you're going to be sitting pretty there, in terms of 5, 6, and 7.
You were quite interested in this. We've talked about, Tennessee and their success in baseball all year long. There seems to be quite a gap between number 1 Tennessee and the rest of the country right now in college baseball. But this is the time where things get weird. We've seen really, really good teams losing the regionals before and losing the super regionals. And it doesn't always work out the way that we want it to. It's baseball. It can get a little weird sometimes. But what were your takeaways from the NCAA tournament field as they get set for the the road to Omaha.
Yeah, I thought, all the, the layouts were pretty good, right? Like, I think that they did about as good of a job, as the NCAA could have with this. It does feel like the NCAA and NC State have this mafia war going on because, there's some wild stuff going on there, but hey, let me say this. You're exactly right in regards to that, too. Like, in terms of, just Tennessee and where they sit, they've been, the number one team in the country pretty much the entirety of the season. But buddy, that doesn't mean anything anymore. And quite frankly, it puts the pressure on you, right? And I don't think we've seen a number one overall team win the College World Series since like 1999 or 2000, somewhere around there. And you're right, man. Weird things can happen because you lose 2 games, you're done. In regional, super regional, whatever. So, we'll see. I mean, they've got a great shot to do it. They've got tremendous pitching, tremendous hitting. They're completely healthy. If they were ever going to do it and win a title, this is the year. But let me say, I've lived in Tennessee for a pretty long time. Tennessee might be the kings of when things line up for you, they just blow it constantly, right? Like, I can guarantee that Tennessee fans are thinking that in the back of their heads. So it's going to be fun, man. But I love this time of year at college baseball. It's the best.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a different kind of pressure, too. I
yeah.
don't know that.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
I mean, being the best team, like, far and away, and then, hey, we still got to win however many games to get where, we got to win 5-6 games to get where we want to go. And then we still have to win a couple more games. Yeah, the pressures is definitely there. That NC State thing is so weird. And they're the obvious team that you go to because of how things sort of unfolded for them in Omaha last year. And now here we are, and they get left on the doorstep of the NCAA tournament with a resume that looks, totally fine. That is so odd to me.
It's tough, right? And, I can see it both ways because you're NC State, you're like, dude, like our numbers lined up. You know what? So did Rutgers. Rutgers numbers lined up too. And also, it does get to a point where, like, if we're talking about 64 teams, it's like, okay, man, like, if it were 4, like the college football playoff, like number 5 usually has a pretty good argument here. Like when you're looking at like 65, you're like, I'm with you, but, there were a lot of chances here. We didn't do it. So it's tough, man. But yeah, NC State, their fans were they were a little upset. Let me say that.
Are you going to be locked into the match tomorrow?
That's a great question. I was just looking at it, and my heart is not fully in it. It's not what it was like for 1 and 2, but it's something on a Wednesday during the day. Like I'll be watching it. Like I'll have it on, but I'm not going to live like shot to shot. Like I'm not going to go crazy with it because that's just. I kind of like when they have PGA players with the players. But that said, I think Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are going to put it all over Brady and Rodgers, honestly. So, yeah, like, look, a Brady match, like his team has never led a single hole after 6 in any of these. So, yeah. Go ahead, give me Mahomes and Allen. I'm all in.
Okay, I wonder if I don't see any odds for it right now on the FanDuel page that I'm looking at. I'm sure if I dive a little bit deeper into it, there'll be something that pops up tomorrow.
Mahomes and Allen are underdogs. I think it's plus 125, 130, somewhere around there. And then you could take Mahomes and Allen to be leading after 6 holes. I think it like plus 170.
Awesome,
something like that. So yeah, those are the 2 that I'm on.
All right, Allan. Appreciate it. And next week we'll chat again, and hopefully Tennessee will be a step closer to their ultimate goal. Thanks for taking the time as always.
I appreciate it. If they're not, there's going to be some problems.
Yep,
talk to you next week.
There'll be some trouble. That's Allan Bell of Sportsline. I would encourage people if they're. I mean, you don't even have to be a sports bettor, and I know that's what we end up talking about most of the time with Allan because he's so close to it, and he hosts the podcast, but which is, they stream that live, by the way, too. So you can kind of just check out what they do. But I'm telling you, it's just intriguing to see. It's a lot. I mean, we make this comparison. I talk about this a lot in college football all the time, where we've spent so much time now and so many people have been dedicated to finding the tiniest edge that they possibly can, that at a certain point you wonder, okay, are we almost out of things? I mean, I'm not kidding. He was breaking down water molecules and all this stuff on a sports betting podcast.
Hey, it's
And-
getting to be humid. Okay.
Yeah, and at
ball's
the
going to travel.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it tells me, oh, but take the Royals team total over 4. And I was like, sweet, awesome, great, I'm going to do that. Boom, it hits right away. And you're not going to be right 100% of the time, but we're talking about the difference between being right, 52% of the time and 54% of the time. Maybe not even that big, right? But that's the difference between keeping your money I sometimes and not. And like I said, not even if you aren't even a sports gambler, it's just interesting to listen to where all these people get their edges from. So there you go. And that's why they call it the early edge. We will come back. We have odd news. We had a full weekend of odd news.
Full weekend. It was extra long weekend, so there was extra time for people to be stupid.
Perfect. We'll do that next year on 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
Again, what did Glenn Taylor do to the chickens that you would be so outraged that you're into disrupting an NBA basketball game, but you go as far to dress as an NBA official, as the lady did, that got absolutely hammered by the security guard on Saturday night, and she deserved to get pummeled into the floor.
Hey, how did they know?
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
The sunny skies will continue for your Tuesday afternoon with a high temperature of 79 degrees. Northwest breeze sustained about 10 to 20 miles an hour, could gust as high as 30. For tonight, mostly clear skies with a low temperature of 52 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Dads Want Steak. Visit omahasteaks.com, type Bishop in the search bar, and order the Dads Want Steak Pack today.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world, and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Hi, this is Kathy Canoyer with Canoyer Garden Center. The beauty and color of spring is in our greenhouse, featuring thousands of gorgeous hanging baskets and hundreds of varieties of Canoyer grown product. Come in and let our family help you find what you are looking for. Whether it's home decor, annuals, perennials, shrubs, tropicals, or vegetables, we have it all. Canoyer Garden Center between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion. Open daily, 9 to 7.
At Canoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Make sure your AC leaves you in the cold this summer by joining McCarthy's 1-hour heating and air conditioning's Comfort Club. For one low monthly fee, you get a twice yearly AC and furnace inspection, plus discounts on repairs, a 90-day breakdown fee guarantee, and you always go to the front of the line when things get busy. Plus, your fees will never increase for the life of the membership. The weather's getting hot. Stay cool with McCarthy's 1-hour heating and air conditioning. Always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Join the Omaha Storm Chasers at Warner Park every Saturday for Bands and Brews, presented by J&M Displays and Warner Enterprises. Each week will feature a different pregame concert and local craft brewery the hour before first pitch. Don't miss live music and happy hour beer specials. Find details on each Saturday's Bands and Brews at omahastormchasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Listen for the screwball of the day this week on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Could be someone screwy or nutty, but worthy of the screwball of the day title. Brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey, now available near you.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, it's time for the odd news. Josh is here, and he will present it to us. Hello, Josh.
I will. Hello, Connor. Hello. We begin with tragedy at the Louvre. The Louvre this weekend. As a man disguised as an elderly woman smeared cake across the glass that holds the Mona Lisa.
Was it Banksy? Did you say this is art?
It's art now. It just doubled the worth.
Yep.
Of this garbage painting. Let's see. A man disguised as an elderly woman in a wheelchair smeared cake across the glass that protects the Mona Lisa and was sent for a psychiatric evaluation, authorities said. The incident happened on Sunday when the man, who wore a black wig and lipstick, abruptly smeared the glass with a piece of cake. One witness said in a tweet that the man jumped out of a wheelchair and attempted to smash the bulletproof glass on the Mona Lisa before smearing cake on it. Another said he also threw roses before he was tackled by security. It sounds like code for something. I don't know what that part means. Some said the stunt appeared to be a climate change protest. And the 36-year-old,
really?
Yeah, clearly.
Well, if we can't tell what the person is protesting, it's probably not quite an effective protest.
Glenn Taylor chicken people, looking at you.
Yep.
The man was
Look,
arrested.
no, they did a great job. They had T-shirts on that said Glenn Taylor chickens.
And
right?
we all looked up. I guess we do all know what that protest was about.
Exactly.
So. Some say that the man yelled, "Think about the earth" in French before being tackled.
Okay. Well, that's semi-effective, I suppose.
Also,
but why the Mona Lisa?
Why cake? Why? This feels like a situation where they didn't know the painting was protected by glass.
Yeah.
Because
you think they're just going to put the Mona Lisa out there for everybody to like breathe on and spit on? Like gross. No way.
You wipe the glass clean and okay, next tour group, come on through. And it's over with.
Imagine how safe the Mona Lisa is.
Yeah, they've thought of this, okay? They've thought of you and your weak little protest.
Now, I don't totally get the obsession with the Mona Lisa really at all. But with that being said, people obviously feel like it needs to be protected at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
There's not just going to be a guy dressed in an old lady suit who walks in and like starts messing with the Mona Lisa. You're not going to get what you want out of this. If that's what you want.
What did they want?
What did they want is a question that we may never know the answer
to. We go to
We are aware that the climate is changing.
Yes. Pennsylvania, we know what this man wanted. He wanted his truck back. State police say a man is facing multiple felonies after authorities say he attempted to steal his own vehicle out of the barracks in out of the impound lot, basically. Troopers say on Thursday morning, authorities were dispatched to the impound lot where a man identified as 39-year-old Michael Roberto was attempting to steal a pickup truck from the parking lot. Investigators say he had left the parking lot prior to police arriving on scene. They say at the same time, a helicopter was landing at the parking lot nearby, And troopers say they witnessed Roberto sprinting towards the aircraft. Yes, you see exactly where this is going. Authorities say he attempted to access the cockpit of the helicopter and steal the helicopter.
What is this guy doing? Why?
The pilot of the helicopter was able to shake Roberto off by simply not opening the helicopter door. He was taken into custody where, now this may shock you, Connor, drug paraphernalia was found on his person.
I thought you were going to say he had to be treated for psychiatric evaluation,
No.
stuff like that too.
They say he also appeared to be intoxicated at the time of the event.
Man.
Try to steal your own truck back. It doesn't go so well. Why not steal a helicopter? I'm already in for theft.
But the thing is, like, in order to do this, even drunk, you would have had to have thought about it at some other point while you were sober, right? Hey, it's like, if I ever get the opportunity, I would like to steal a helicopter.
And this is how I would do it.
This is how I do it.
I don't think that's how any of this works.
Man, I don't. Like, what's the end game if you steal a helicopter?
I mean,
I see. Unlike me flying a plane, I do not think I could fly a helicopter.
A little more skill involved on that one.
I don't know. That one feels way more it feels more difficult to me.
Mm-hmm.
I could maybe get it off the ground. I don't think there'd be any way that I would be able to land it safely.
Now this is knowledge taken entirely from movies, so it's a bad resource tool. They feel easy to flip.
Sure,
they're always flipping in movies. The helicopter, you move the stick too far one way, and the thing is sideways on you.
Yeah, no, it just seems like a really dangerous thing.
Yeah,
not on helicopters.
Maybe think out your crimes a little better.
That's all,
Mr. Roberto.
Yep.
Finally, this is a story that it's out there. It's odd. It's weird. It's perfect for the odd news segment. A woman who is in love with planes wants to marry a toy airplane.
Is she going to be allowed to do that?
It looks like it. A woman in love with a plane insists her desire is not a flight of fancy.
Where is this? Is this in America?
I believe it is across the pond.
Mm.
Sarah Rodo, 23 years young, even refers to the Boeing 737 as her boyfriend. She flies on the aircraft as often as possible, has 50 replica models of the plane at home.
Just a Boeing 737 model? Or is she in love with the model or an actual plane? Like a specific plane?
A model of plane. Not that is the plane.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I know this whole story is weird, but that is weirder than just being attached to a specific plane, right?
Yeah, I would say so. It'd be like being, I like short girls, so therefore I like every short girl in existence.
Yes.
Right? Now, you're going to think I'm being crass on the radio. Allow me to explain myself before you become shocked and awed at my language. Sarah calls the Boeing Dickie as her boyfriend and wants to marry it someday. Now, the Boeing Dickie is named after Bill Dickey, a pilot of the 737 within the Boeing company. So when I say that name, I'm not being crass.
Thank you.
The Dortmund resident, wherever Dortmund is.
Yeah, there's a soccer team there.
Yeah, I knew I had heard the name before. She identifies as objectum sexual, which means that she is attracted to objects. Yes, you were able to break down that Latin very easily.
Very smart.
She said past romances with men didn't really do it for her. She's also been in love with a train before. I love everything about him, but particularly his face, wings, and engine. They're so sexy to me, Sarah says. Some people don't understand my love, but my friends took my coming out very well and encouraged me.
That's all right.
I have no solution. I have no wrap up. I have nothing else other than this woman loves the Boeing 737 probably more than you.
People have their different things, I suppose. This one just seems a little bit more uncommon than most.
Yeah. Not judging, but
we don't.
I am
Yeah,
kind of judging.
we don't need to shame.
No.
We don't need to judge.
Love is
So-
love, even if it is with an airplane, I guess. Sure.
I just, you wonder if you wonder if she's really thought it out. Like, hey, are you going to get anything back out of this relationship? But maybe
That's
she
a good
doesn't
question.
care.
That's a good question. What is the plane bringing?
It seems more like admiration than love.
Ooh, that's a good take. That
I really like this plane. This plane gets me going. This plane turns me on a little bit. But what's that plane like? What are you getting back?
You're not going to be a dual income household.
No.
It can't share its feelings with you. How was your day at work, honey?
Right.
You're not getting anything back.
Right.
Now, it's not going to interrupt you. But I do imagine it is going to care about your day similar to the boyfriends in your
Maybe
past.
it's just puppy love. She's attracted to the plane and she doesn't really know how to describe it. She doesn't really know what to do.
It was trains in a previous relationship, so maybe it'll evolve again. Maybe it's a phase and she'll go on to, I don't know, canoes, kayaks.
You think she's going nautical next?
Tanks.
Weird story. Yeah, that's odd.
That's
pretty odd.
What was I going to do? Not share that with you?
Thank you, Josh. It's appreciated. Well, we didn't know what's going on. Now we do. We'll come back for the noon hour. So Adrian Martinez, he said that the team that he is going to be on this year, he thinks it's his most talented team that he has, and that got people talking about Adrian Martinez. Again, he said some more things that I thought were maybe a little bit more illuminating this spring about how he feels about his past situation and how he feels about his future situation. We can't quit things here. We can't quit Adrian Martinez. And Adrian Martinez may still have, this is his experience playing college football before. He's still got it in the back of his head. I think we need to be prepared for him being good this fall. I'll explain why next here on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It is a great time for you to get your golf game back in shape with their director of instruction, Mike Favre. Give him a call at 402-498-0220. Whether it is individual lessons, whether it is group lessons, whether you are a single handicap or have never played golf before, he can help improve the game of golf for you, and thus you will enjoy those rounds when you get out and play. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Join Blur Parties at Hilton Omaha this June as we host a premier college baseball championship tailgate. Experience an all-inclusive full bar and buffet, TV, music, and a variety of tailgate games. Book a corporate tailgate event or just hang out with friends. The best part is we're located on the south side of Charles Schwab Field at the Hilton Omaha. Visit blurparties.com to buy tickets or to find out about sponsorship opportunities. That's blurparties.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Tracy, line 1 is looking for a quote on a mini split.
Crazy spring temperatures are heating up to wide HVAC phone lines.
Next week we're booked solid.
If they don't find more technicians, they'll be in hot water.
How are we down 3 technicians in the past 3 weeks?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism can affect any family. Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
French food, and not just small portions and high prices. Les Voltaire is anything but. Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, special occasions, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines and craft cocktails with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
All right, we're back here on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. What's going on with Nebraska football right now? Well, they're going to have a couple big recruiting weekends on tap over the next few weeks with camps beginning. Everybody kind of getting back on campus and stuff like that. You'll start to feel the sort of buzz for that type of stuff again. But also what's happening with Nebraska football is Adrian Martinez went on a podcast. What did we say at the end of when Adrian transferred? It was, we're going to be watching this one for a while. Kind of whatever he says, whatever he does. And we kind of took that to mean like, we're going to be watching some K-State games in the fall. And I think we are. I think Nebraska fans will be paying close attention to what's going on with him in K-State. And by the way, there's a scenario where this works out best, where this works out best for everybody. And I think that is the most likely one, to be honest with you. Nebraska's moved on. They've moved on in a lot of different places. I wouldn't blame like the coaches that left the program, that were let go from the program, before Adrian left, and Adrian didn't get to kind of see what this new offense or new organization of the offense or whatever it might be. He doesn't kind of get to live that out. I'd be pretty frustrated about that if I were him, but at the same time, he doesn't know. So he's on to a different program. He's on to K-State. On Thursday night or Friday, he goes on a podcast and says, I think this is the most talented team that I've been around. And that got people to raise their eyebrows a little bit. May I remind you a quote that Adrian had in the spring, and he's just getting back now. He's getting to the point where he's almost fully healthy back from his shoulder surgery. That he, of course, suffered another shoulder injury in the Wisconsin game last year, and that was the last time we saw him. Here's a big quote from him that he had during the spring. And this comes from, by the way, the Athletic. Max Olson did a rundown of K-State today. And a lot of it is focused around Adrian Martinez, and are they ready to kind of take that next step, and all the positive ways in which Adrian Martinez can kind of impact that and impact them as a team. Martinez says this, quote, there's a really, really strong run game here that I know will help me out in the pass game and play action game. One of the things I want to showcase that I didn't necessarily get to is consistency in the pass game and being able to find a consistent rhythm as an offense. I know we can do that here. We're going to go no huddle, but we can also huddle up, take our time, and really take the will out of the defense. We didn't have that ability at Nebraska. And the key thing for me, this is the main point. I do think we have to be prepared a little bit for him to be good this year. I'm pretty confident in saying that Adrian Martinez will be a good player for K-State. And there's a lot of reasons why. I don't think he's going to get picked apart as much if he makes a mistake. I think that's a big deal. But most importantly, my view of what went wrong with Adrian Martinez, and I don't want to put it all on one side or the other. Obviously, I don't think either side, if we're playing sides here, really helped each other out as the relationship went further and further, and it's Adrian's junior and senior year. But the most important thing here is this, and he said part of it in that quote. They're not going to give him the keys to the entire offense. The entire offense is not based around the things that Adrian Martinez can do. They are going to have a setup at Kansas State. They have an All-American running back, a good run game, and you know who K-State is as an offense because you knew who North Dakota State was and Chris Kleiman and all that. Like, you know what they are. They have been able to build an identity. So when you bring in a player who can be as dynamic as Adrian Martinez can be, you tend to get more of the good than the bad. And I think the reason why it was we fluctuated so much with Adrian, so much good and so much bad. And then at times some consistency, for stretches of consistency and stretches of horrible inconsistency and injuries and all that stuff, is because of the reason that I just explained to you guys. Nebraska had the opposite of that. Nebraska had the opposite of what some of these programs have had over the last couple of years. They've had no, they didn't have, I mean, we talk about identity all the time. We hate to boil, I don't know, I sort of hate to boil it down to just that one word, but it is that. Identity, a staple, things that you can do, and a definition of who you are and what you want to do, rather than, well, we have Adrian Martinez and we feel like we can do it all. I mean, I think that's sort of what happened after 2018. In 2018, Adrian Martinez steps into an offense, and I think they put a lot on him his freshman year, but certainly not as much as they did in 2019. I mean, they had Divina Zigbo in 2018. They had a 1,000-yard rusher. They had a 1,000-yard receiver in Stanley Morgan. They had J.D. Spielman. The great part about Adrian stepping in as a freshman is that he was going to be able to sort of distribute and at times make plays for the offense. And that grew throughout the year as he got more comfortable and more comfortable. But the keys weren't all the way in his hands right away. Fast forward to the next year in 2019. Stanley's gone. Ozigbo's gone. It's basically Adrian Martinez and Maurice Washington. J.D. Spielman's hurt for a portion of that year as well, I believe. And you have Wandale. And it became, and then Maurice Washington is gone 4 games into the year. And it's Adrian and Wandale all of a sudden. And Wandale's like 4 games into his collegiate career. And that starts the whole path. It's a very similar path that Adrian had, that Wandale Robinson had at Nebraska, and Wandale decided to get out. When you put so much on the one guy, they're not able to reach their full potential. Better inside the boundaries, right? Playing a role. And yes, sometimes the role has to be, and for Adrian Martinez in his career at Nebraska, his role the entire time was being everything that the offense did. So you rode the ups and downs. When he wasn't good, Nebraska wasn't good. When he was good, they were a lot better. And there's a reason why the results during that time were super up and down. So I just think he walks into a much, much better situation for him this year. Because I think one thing that did happen that was reality, that was pretty clear over the 4 years, is that he probably wasn't the guy that we thought he could have been or that he was going to be after his freshman year. He maybe wasn't as high-end talented as we thought. And I think because of that, he got a lot put on his plate and that whole thing that I just went into. But he has limitations. And, I think you realize that. You know what he is. And I don't think he's going to be asked to do too much at Kansas State. Now, as far as so I think he's going to have success there. I really do. I think he'll be a good player there, and they'll be happy that they took a chance on Adrian Martinez. I really think that. Now, that doesn't mean here is the worst place in the world now either. Obviously, what they've been doing the last 4 years is a lot of it's wrong, but a lot of it changed. The offensive structure, and we'll see what they actually do on offense, but the offensive structure, who's in charge, what are they doing? That has the opportunity to change. Some of that is still up to Scott Frost, and it's in his hands. The quarterback is changing. Do they hand all the keys to Casey Thompson and say, hey, go run around and make plays? Or do they realize the focus is we got to be better around and we have to be a little bit more of a well-rounded offense? If Casey Thompson's Nebraska's leading rusher at any point really during this season, outside about the first, 3 plays or something no, never. If Casey Thompson is Nebraska's leading rusher at any point this season, that's going to be bad news. Because then you're going down that same path that it has been the last couple of years, and it lacks this sort of global view of what your offense could do over a season-long stretch. I've talked about this a lot before. I understand the need and the want to, have the ball in your best player's hands when you're attempting to get a first down and all that stuff. But you have to know what that's going to do if that guy is your quarterback over a season-long stretch in this league. It's going to get him hurt. And it's not going to be good for the totality of your offense that is, struggled with running backs over the last couple of years. Maybe you're in a better position there. Maybe you feel like Anthony Grant is the answer. I would argue that Dedrick Mills really could have been the answer over the last couple of years, and they just decided to go with what they know. They never got him established. I thought he could have been a good player here, or a more productive player than he was. And when they really committed to the run game with him, it produced. Rutgers, 2020. Wisconsin, 2019. Both those games, he was upwards of 18 carries, and both those games, he ran over upwards of 150 yards, I think, off the top of my head. So you got to commit to it, right? Nebraska's got to commit to a thing that's not Adrian Martinez. That's why the split can be good too. So it doesn't mean, and like I said, I think Adrian's going to have success at K-State. But if he goes there and does that, that doesn't mean he was right about everything and what's going on here now is wrong. Things have changed here too. The split can be good and he could be right, and this could all work out for everybody. But there's no doubt there was a realization that what happened here on the offensive side of the ball over the last 4 years was wrong. And that's been we've been aware of some of that for a long time. And Adrian Martinez says it out loud, and people are like, "Oh, I think we've all sort of known that." Okay, so from you guys here on the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor1620thezone.com. Hey, by the way, I haven't mentioned this today. You can text into the show 402-951-1620. Pull that up right now. We're also streaming on YouTube, but in order to get there, hey, check us out, 1620thezone.com, because you can see all of Josh's cool graphics. Look, he's got the Power Cat up there right now.
The Power Cat.
People will be watching K-State this year, by the way.
Oh yeah, it'll be on at every bar, we'll, I imagine, be talking about it a lot of Mondays in the fall.
So Eric, we could put Eric's comment up there. What do you want him to say? This team is bleep. Worst team I've been around. I'll give him the run game comment. This is my whole point. Like, I'm not mad at. I don't think anybody should be mad at Adrian Martinez. Maybe for some people it's sort of enlightening, but I think he's right.
Yeah, he's not going to come out there and go,
the talent.
Hey, this K-State team, I don't know if I made a good decision here.
The talent comment is illuminating, because what we have always thought around here for a long time is that Nebraska has a talent, from a talent perspective, is, you know, one of the best in sort of the region, right? Where you're constantly comparing yourself to the teams around you. Iowa, Iowa State, K-State, Minnesota, you know, Missouri, whatever. The Nebraska, you know, usually recruits best out of all of those, and we usually correlate recruiting rankings to team talent. Now, can you really split hairs? Can you tell at the end of the day what's talent and what is, you know, hey, we just have a system that works here really well, and we have things that we do that work really well, and we have a mission and an objective and a goal, right? It has a clear path and it's laid out really well. Can that be misconstrued, I think, as talent sometimes? Yeah, sure. Who knows what that is and what the other stuff is, you know? What to credit what to. But you're right. What do you want him to say? But we get a couple emails here. John writes in, he says, no one can blame for Martinez for what he said on the podcast. Everything he said was true. He's far from perfect. He almost got no help in the players around him or the coaches. In a nutshell, that's basically how I look at Adrian Martinez's career. I'm telling you, I almost feel bad for him that, like, it couldn't have gone on, because it was just getting so, you know, stale by the end of his year. And then he gets hurt again, right? And there's some uncertainty, and Nebraska's changing over so much. But I would have loved to see Adrian in this new setup, because I think he's just a lot. I think he's like his head coach, or, you know, his former head coach. I think he's a lot better in the boundaries. I think everybody is. So you give him specific goals, specific missions, and he's not, you know, maybe with his quarterback coach set up, he's not thinking about his mechanics all the time. You know, and from that standpoint, he can kind of just go out and play. Some of the better throws that we saw Adrian Martinez make in his entire career all happened in his very first game.
Ethan texts in. So if Adrian isn't asked to do a lot, he'll succeed. That's what I'm hearing.
Sure. I mean, I guess that could be a translation of what I'm saying. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I mean,
doesn't that make him good?
Some of the other stuff of, like, hey, could you be the face of a program? Could you be constantly asked if Nebraska is back? Like, he can just kind of be at K-State without having to be anyone's savior. He can just be the quarterback.
Oh, I mean, that stuff too. I mean, that was never an easy fit for him here. In that regard, I think he's a really smart and knowledgeable, and, like, he comes off as a really wise kid. Even talking to him when he committed in December of 2017. That's what everybody said when they talked to him the first time. Holy crap, this kid seems like he's 25. He's really wise. Does he have the personality to be the face of a program? I don't know that he would ask for that. I don't know that he would ask to be put in. I don't know that he's like a natural, leader. But you're right. That's probably a better fit for him in all ways at K-State, where he can, be in the sort of, I don't know, background. You're never going to be in the background. You're the starting quarterback. You're still going to get asked all the questions. You're still going to be a representative for your team. Like he'll represent K-State at like a Big 12 media days or whatever, right? That'll get talked about.
Yeah, but he's the lights are a little dimmer.
I think so.
Yeah.
And not only that, the difference between Nebraska and K-State from a football program perspective, but more so from a from a what you do and who you have to be in the offense. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, ask him to do less. But what I'm saying is ask any quarterback who lives to do less. I don't think there's a whole lot of people outside of if Nebraska was asking their quarterback what they were of Adrian Martinez over the last couple of years, I don't know who works out in that scenario outside of Lamar Jackson. And you just hope and pray that he gets hurt, that he doesn't get hurt. Adrian was running between the tackles. He was, they ran him too much.
Could you be our leading rusher and our leading passer?
Yeah.
And face of
Could
the program?
you be the son, please? It's just, that's difficult for a lot of different reasons. And, I don't think they're going to ask. I don't think you would want to ask Casey Thompson to do that this year. And I don't think they will. I think they'll be a more well-rounded offense. I mean, look at Nebraska's offensive stats, just how they're balanced compared to some other teams around the country. Yeah, and then what people always come back with is they were a top whatever rushing team in the Big Ten. Not effectively. Nebraska needs to have their running backs a part of the run game, and it shouldn't be that difficult. It is a choice. It is. It's a conscious choice, and it's not an easy choice. Nebraska's got to get a running back going, right? We can get to another text here because I forgot to open it up until just now. Swift wonders, do you think we should expect the offense to look like it did in 2018? That's a better picture of it. Right? I mean, I have I spreadsheeted this stuff. I mean, this is probably for another day. I'm surprised I haven't. I'm sure I've brought this up before on this show in particular, but just when Nebraska has a running back that they commit to on a game-to-game basis and their carries are higher than their quarterbacks, and that's not even a high threshold, right? A high bar. Nebraska's better. Any offense would be. And like I said, unless you're like Lamar Jackson, where that guy is so much better than everybody else. But that's what to go back to what I said earlier, that's, I think, part of the truth of what we learned over the last few years, what they had to finally accept about Adrian Martinez, is that he's not Lamar Jackson. That he had to be, but they tried to kind of make him that. And he's not. And I think they suffered because of it. All sides did. So I think both will be better off. If you guys have anything else on that, I don't know. We spent a lot of time on it, but it's going to keep coming up. That's for sure. Travis tweets in. He says, Tom Brady's never been the leading rusher and everybody's fine with it. Why is it weird to say Adrian Martinez shouldn't have to be the leading rusher? Well, that's not weird. It shouldn't be weird. And look at what they did at, this will be a little bit different in the Big Ten, but look at what they did at UCF in 2017. They're not going to stop running their quarterback. If I were to guess, it would be that, Casey Thompson has, 300, 400, 500 yards rushing this year. But that can't be your leading rusher. It shouldn't be that difficult for Nebraska to have a 1,000-yard back. I'm not, that seems weird coming from a guy who's just sitting in this chair, but they've done it the last couple of years, and it's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we'll come back here in just a little bit. Tom Shatel is going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll ask him a little bit about that as well. So still plenty to come here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, remember, the NBA Finals are here. We're finally set. Celtics and Warriors, and throughout the NBA Finals, FanDuel is giving new customers $200 in free bets. That's right, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Moneyline, point spreads, player props, anything else. I mean, look at the website, look at the app. There is an endless treasure trove of things to jump into. You could pick the exact series. We were talking about this with Allan earlier. Pick the exact series order in terms of wins and how you think it's going to go. There's big odds in there if you think you can, guess it correctly. That's just part of what makes FanDuel Sportsbook so much fun. Game 1 winner, yeah, you probably like the Warriors. Don't sleep on the Celtics for the series, though. That's what I'll say. I'm not putting my name by it, but don't sleep on it for the series. Just sign up with promo code Happer. And if you haven't tried FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot, because the only thing sweeter than watching the finals is cashing in on the finals. Join today with promo code Happer and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose. Make every game like Game 7 with FanDuel Sportsbook, official partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now troubles free bets that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, here are your 3 drinks and slushes. Enjoy your Sonic.
Oh, the best part about the Sonic app is definitely that the drinks are always half price.
This is happy hour all the time.
It's happy hour.
It's happy hour.
Yeah.
Happy hour. Oh.
And we all lived happily ever after. Oh.
It's happy hour every hour with the Sonic app. Get half-price drinks and slushes whenever you order with the app. This is how we Sonic. Exclusions apply. See app for details. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
At Dingman's, our first priority is protecting your safety. We are here to be your personal advocate to ensure you receive safe, proper repairs by the highest skilled technicians in the industry. Stop in to experience the Dingman difference today. At Dingman's, we would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
The Hyundai lineup is electrified with the widest range of electric, hybrid, and plug-in hybrid vehicles on the market, from the electric when you want it to the gas when you need it. Hyundai Tucson Hybrid to the all-electric 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5. When you shop Hyundai, you'll benefit from Hyundai Owner Assurance with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Place a priority order at Woodhouse Hyundai of Omaha in-store off 144th and Giles Road, or online at woodhousehyndaiofomaha.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Having an issue with ED might begin in the bedroom, but it doesn't end there. It can also do a number on your confidence. But know this, you're not alone. 30 million guys deal with ED in the U.S. Fortunately, treating ED is now more straightforward and less awkward than ever, thanks to Hims. Through Hims, you can get the generic form of Viagra, which uses the same active ingredient for just $3 per use. Just go to 4hims.com and chat with a medical provider online. And if appropriate, you'll be prescribed the ED medication that's best for you. And it'll be shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Simple. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. Get your confidence back at 4hims.com. Love your results or your money back.
To get started today, go to forhims.com/radio.
That's forhims.com/radio for your free visit. forhims.com/radio. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Oh, Josh, look at that. Another new graphic. Graphic design is his passion.
It is. The movement has started. We're going to get Allan Bell here in Omaha.
Ooh, he made a great point that I hadn't even really considered yet for some reason, which is Tennessee, of all places, if they don't make the College World Series this year. I mean, this is a team that is very, very good, in case you haven't noticed. They are, I don't know, you hesitate to say this because it's baseball. It seems like they are far away better than really anybody else out there. They've lost 7 games. They're 53-7, guys. They've won 53 out of 60 games. They won, I think, 30, like they started 30-something-0, didn't they?
I believe so. Yes.
No, they lost that one game to Texas in March. It was like high 20s out of high 20s. So for them to be rolling along right now and potentially just have that little, look, weird things happen in regionals, super regionals, that fan base would explode. Explode. It would not be pretty.
If they didn't make it?
If they didn't make it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the thing they're clinging to, which...
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wish Nebraska had a thing that I could cling to right now and be like, I'm huge. I mean, they got volleyball and things like that.
Like,
but
on one hand, it's a really enviable spot to be, hey, it's national championship or bust. On the other hand, it is, there's some pressure.
Does not leave a lot of wiggle room.
No. You have to win the national championship, but you definitely have to get out. Like each round they go through, I think, and on one hand, it sort of relieves it a little bit. You make it through okay, at least we didn't get bounced in our home regional. Okay, at least we
didn't get 12-0 in the first game.
Yeah. And then you get past, at least we made it to Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever happens in Omaha happens in Omaha. And then you get to the final, you get to the final series. Or you get, So you're going to be in some trouble if you don't make it. Allan Bell seems excited by this. You photoshopped a Runza into his hand.
Yes, I did.
A Zesto shake, it appears.
Yes, that is correct.
Why not a crunch cone? You don't think Allan Bell likes ice cream? What's up with the weird hat?
I somehow envision Tennessee fans like
wearing weird hats.
There's always one guy in the crowd at a Tennessee game that's wearing just an obnoxiously large hat. I think I might have made that up because it was really hard to find.
That's the hat that
Google Images.
I think that's the hat that Lloyd Christmas wore on Dumb and Dumber. Is that where you got that?
Fun fact, that is what I ended up Googling. It's like, oh man, I can't find the obnoxious checkerboard Tennessee hat that I have envisioned in my head, which may or may not actually exist. I know.
Like
I know what I'm thinking of.
Like a Tennessee version of Paul Bear Bryant?
Yes, exactly. I know what I'm thinking of. I'm actually thinking of the suit from Dumb and Dumber.
So that has begun. We're going to get Allan Bell to Omaha somehow. We just got to get CBS to pay for it, I suppose.
They got deep pockets.
Yeah, it's no problem. No problem over there. Let's have it come out of Nance's deal a little bit. In Nance's pocket.
Look, Romo, we need you to take just a fraction less so we can do this one thing for this one guy.
A phenomenon in the sport of baseball. He goes by the name of Nick Castellanos. Most famous for being really, really good at baseball. But his fame
is he?
His fame in the world of timing, is approaching his actual level of baseball play during an on-air apology for something that was said on a hot mic situation on a Reds broadcast in Kansas City a couple of years ago. A heartfelt apology. Nick Castellanos went deep.
Heartfelt.
Tom Brenneman just threw the call in there that he says he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to put on the headset again. He was not. He was not. I believe there was one in spring training. I think it was a spring training thing where somebody had died.
Yes, someone was giving an on-air eulogy, more or less, and Nick did the thing.
Hit a home run. Yesterday, Memorial Day, across the sport. So it makes it likely that there's going to be some sort of heartfelt thing in between an inning, and it could be an emotional day, obviously, for a lot of different reasons. And it wasn't Philly yesterday. They dedicated a seat in the stadium, and here's how that sounded on the Phillies broadcast.
And Miles Teller, whose movie Top Gun Maverick is out right now, is joined by American Gold Star Mothers past national president Judith Young, unveiling the gold chair, which will sit vacant here at Citizens Bank Park, honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Castellanos rips one to deep left field. It is gone! Solo home run for Castellanos. He's hit it 5 straight. It's 1-0 Phils.
Now,
Somebody's getting hot.
okay. Now, it wasn't a full-on interruption. It was clear, like, we're
right at the end of my.
Now, here's the question. If Castellanos had taken a strike there, the announcer is talking about, oh, what a great thing. Keeping his seat open. What a fantastic story. And that's what we're doing here on Memorial Day.
Did he have more on the chair or anything?
He did.
That Nick interrupted with his home run.
It feels like he did. But Nick did not allow that. I don't know. This has happened like 3 or 4 times now. Apparently, there was another one that people looked up, and he somehow somebody internet sleuthed that he hit a home run the night that we got Osama, like in the minor leagues.
Oh no, really?
Yes.
Oh
yes. I don't think that's made up. I think it's a real thing. What would happen if I Googled Castellanos bin Laden?
Osama bin Laden was killed around 1 a.m. Pacific time on May 2nd, 2011.
So it wasn't at the exact time.
That would mean it was around 4 p.m. on May 1st, 2011 in Fort Wayne when that happened. Nick hit his first career home run in the first inning of a game in Fort Wayne that started at 3:06 p.m. And he's got the box score pictured.
That's just another example. So just know when Nick Castellanos is hitting a home run, something is happening around him. He just doesn't know. I'm sure somebody has made it known to him that this is all happening.
I read a comment from, you scroll through the comments because it's funny and everyone's having fun with it. That got me thinking, are networks beginning to do this thing where
they're aware of it?
Nick is on deck, or Nick is in the
Josh, no.
The do up. Let's do our uber serious return from commercial break.
You can't go conspiracy theory on this. There's no way.
So that we can have a viral moment in baseball, a sport that is desperate for viral moments on cable television, which is desperate for viral moments to grab the clutches of relevancy.
Shame on you, Josh.
I'm just, someone on the internet suggested it. I said, it's not that terrible a take.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do our thing here in the 5th inning, in between the 5th and 6th inning today. And we're going to hope and pray that Nick Castellanos comes up. No way, Josh.
No. I'm saying they're going further than that. They're saying
we're going to put this in whenever he's leading off the inning.
Yeah, we're going to do this at some point today. Okay.
No.
Nick's on deck at the top of this next inning. All right. Bring us back with the Gold Star family, please.
This is one thing that you should know. These things are scripted out well in advance.
That is usually true.
They know exactly when they're doing this on the broadcast because, TV knows. They're well aware of what's going on in the ballpark. And they get a script from what's going on in the ballpark that day. And if they want to do a TV thing on it, then they could do that too. They know what's going on well in advance. Sorry, Josh.
Top Gun Maverick needed the promotion of a baseball viral moment.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick needed that.
Not a lot of people knew about it. It was one of those sneaky little indie films sneaking in.
Like I haven't seen Miles Teller with his shirt off for the entire weekend, and I haven't even seen the movie.
I haven't had to look at that mustache for the last 2 years.
Yeah, what? So are we... Is society into this now?
Okay.
Are we doing mustaches?
Are mustaches back?
Yeah.
That's what I've been wondering all weekend because I saw a lot of them. I saw a lot of just straight mustaches.
But like specifically bad mustaches. Like, is it ironic?
Poll question at Happer Show. Are mustaches back?
I mean, I've had a mustache before. I did not feel what Miles Teller seems to be feeling right now. So I don't think it has a lot to do with the mustache in particular. Maybe we already thought that Miles Teller was super hot and that now the mustache is only enhancing that. But I don't know how that's possible. But he does seem to be at his peak hotness right now.
If you have a mustache, you need to carry yourself in a way that is different from non-mustachioed people.
There's a certain amount of confidence that you have to have.
Yeah.
For sure. If you're rocking a mustache and you're worried about it, that's probably not going to serve you well. All right. So there's going to be a few poll questions on that one, it feels like.
Are mustachioed men more confident? Yes or no? At Happer Show. And finally, Miles Teller, ? Yes or no?
I know how that one's going to go. Everybody's all in on Miles Teller. Everybody.
I ask you, America, to beware of Miles Teller. I don't know what it is. I just got a feeling.
What?
It's just a gut feeling.
About what?
Something about him ain't right. I don't know what it is.
You didn't like that he was hanging out with Aaron Rodgers and Shailene in that jungle that one time?
I don't know. He's got a punchable face. He looks like a jerk. I got a feeling. I got a feeling on this one. It might take 10 years to be proven right, but I don't like the guy.
All right, we'll save this. Mark tweets in at Happer Show on the J-Tech Instructions on Twitter feed. He says the ironic mustache stopped being funny in 2008.
Right?
It's a long time ago.
Has it come back around? Like, is it like, oh, remember when mustaches were cool? Let's bring that back.
Because no, like society hasn't got back around to 2008 yet.
Yeah.
We're in about 2002 right now.
Yeah.
We're in like 20. We're 20 years behind before the stuff comes back and it's cool again. Pretty soon, people are going to be walking around with cell phones with antennas on them.
Look at this big brick. Got a big brick phone.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we're not that far away from that. Hey, do you know how big my phone is? It doesn't have an antenna on it, but it is huge.
That new iPhone is huge.
Yes, it's massive.
And I hear it's heavier than previous iPhones. Is that true too?
It's quite cumbersome. Josh's top 5 best of the weekend. We'll see if Miles Teller makes the list.
Never know.
Next here on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
These are the quarterbacks that they've got committed just under Ryan Day. Quinn Ewers, who was the number 1 quarterback in the class of 2021, he's since transferred out.
Quinn?
Yeah.
I don't like that name for a quarterback. Quinn, not strong enough. But please proceed.
Excuse me, Quinn? Quinn? Yeah, get over it. He's going to be the quarterback at Texas this year.
Oh, no shot.
He's the highest rated quarterback of all time.
3-9 confirmed.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers.
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly clear skies will eventually prevail throughout the afternoon as temperatures spike into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Tonight, I'm tracking a morning low of 52 degrees with clear conditions. For your Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, small chance of afternoon rain. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
Okay, team, it's summer. Your training all comes down to this checklist. Emma, sunscreen? Check. Alex, shades? Yep, set. Baby Zoe, diaper bag? We're just gonna call that a yes. Are you ready for Funplex? Check. What up to the minivan? But we can't drive. Let's find Mom and then go to the minivan. Yay!
It's all for fun and fun for all at Funplex, 70th and Q, dude. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
I'm not going very far.
It's too uncomfortable.
I'm in a hurry.
Sometimes I just forget.
There's no such thing as a good excuse for not buckling up. You're not only putting yourself at risk of injury or death, it could also cost you lots of money. Cops are writing tickets, so why take the risk? Do the smart thing and start buckling up every trip, day or night. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
What makes you smile? How about using your home equity to make those home improvements you've always wanted? Get a fixed rate on a home equity loan and line of credit for as low as 2.49% APR for 60 months. Rates are going up. Lock in now. Apply online at metrofcu.org. Making your home happier? It's what makes you smile. Metro Credit Union, your local advantage. Visit us online or call 800-301-8549 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured through NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
Where next?
you earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
NRG Media is a locally focused company with a full suite of digital advertising products, and we're recruiting for a digital marketing salesperson. If you're looking to grow in a sales role that lets you create unique marketing campaigns for businesses by using products like OTT, targeted display, social media, and more, send your resume to salesomaha@nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm not going very far.
It's too uncomfortable.
I'm in a hurry.
Sometimes I just forget.
There's no such thing as a good excuse for not buckling up. You're not only putting yourself at risk of injury or death, it could also cost you lots of money. Cops are writing tickets, so why take the risk? Do the smart thing and start buckling up every trip, day or night. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Damon Benning here for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey. Excitement is in the air as the college baseball championship returns to Omaha. Celebrate this year with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. A little sweet, a little salty, a little savory. It's unlike anything you've ever tasted before. It's the perfect celebration of the wild and wonderful in all of us. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey, available near you. Enjoy responsibly. Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
We have a poll question that has been tweeted at us.
I like that. That's a good trend. I want
like
that to keep happening.
I like that too. At Happer Show, do naval aviators really play that much volleyball?
Oh, not a chance. Not a chance.
We've only experienced this specific subsection of the military of the Navy a couple times, and just there seems to be a high percentage of volleyball. It's forced in there.
Yeah.
The whole volleyball thing, even from the first time around, it's in question. Why are they even doing it?
Look, we need to have a scene where everybody's getting together, everybody's having fun, it looks cool. You wear your jorts and you play some sand sports.
But the whole thing that was set up was that he was like running late to the date with what's her name, with Charlie.
Yeah, he got so into the volleyball game.
So they created a volleyball game.
He's got to be running late
to make him appear as if he could have just been like, brushing his teeth. I don't know.
No, because he's got to be sweaty.
But
Everyone's got to be
he's
sweaty.
and then he went to her house and took a shower.
That is forcing intimacy in a relationship.
Forcing is right.
I don't have the texter's name, but he did say, guys, Miles Teller's mustache is so he looked like Goose, played by Anthony Edwards in the original. Yes, we are aware. We were speaking more of culturally, mustaches seem to be back.
Yeah, maybe Miles Teller helps that, though.
Well, yeah, mustache in a big budget movie like that.
Can't hurt. No. We have Josh's top 5 today, which is winners of the weekend.
Yes, that is correct. Winners of the weekend.
See if Miles Teller and his mustache make it.
It was a long weekend, so we have more opportunities for winners.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
This is really awkward because we just talked about it in the last segment. Number 5 is Nick Castellanos.
All he did was hit a home run, man.
The meme lord himself.
He doesn't have anything to do with any of this stuff. All he does is go out there and hit home runs.
He doesn't have the broadcast in his ear. He doesn't know what's happening around him.
Nope.
He's just playing the game.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, he's a winner.
Does he get asked about this a lot?
I would think that it's been brought up to him.
He just must not have an interesting answer if it's not popping up in my timeline, right?
Right. Yeah, no, that would be my exact guess, yes.
Okay.
I'll try and seek out that information, though.
Okay.
Number 4.
Also, it was kind of hard to find 5 winners this weekend.
What? Why don't you include yourself? Happy birthday.
Well, that's like giving yourself a nickname.
What? You can be a winner.
Someone else has to call you a winner. You can't call yourself a winner.
I've done this segment on a show before, and I was the winner all the time. I won this weekend. Why? Having a great time in the Twin Cities. Why not? Add me to the list.
You were no runs, 2 hits for quite a while in that game Sunday.
Oh yeah. No. we don't care about what happened in the game. We're just there and got to check off a new field, Target Field.
Got to go to some excellent breweries.
Yes.
I like Surly. There, I said it. It's out there.
The people in Minnesota are very nice, by the way.
You and Gary were talking about this before the show, that if it weren't for the snow, it would be an amazing place to live. And I agree with that.
Yes. And if you're out there on the lake during the summer months, and that's as good as it gets, man.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the other 9 months of the year are a complete disaster. So that's kind of what you have to live through.
Doesn't seem like a fair trade.
It's a tough sell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough sell.
Absolutely. Number 4 is Maryland lacrosse. They won.
Yeah, Natty.
Yeah, they won the Natty as just the 4th team to ever finish a season undefeated. They beat Cornell 9-7 to capture. That's kind of a low-scoring lacrosse game, if I'm not mistaken, to capture their 4th title.
Blacks guy?
I watch it every now and then. Maryland 18-0 set the record for most wins in a season without a loss. I just kind of assumed they played more games in a season in lacrosse. I apparently learned that this weekend as well. First undefeated team in the sport since Virginia in 2006. The Terps are 33-1 the past 2 seasons.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Big Ten.
It's good for the conference, gang. The lone loss coming in 2021 championship game against
the Big Ten
Cavaliers.
The Big Ten's going to go all in on lacrosse now. Mm-hmm. Maybe if Michigan would actually won that national championship in baseball a couple years ago, they would have went in on baseball. But nope.
Was that it? Was that the problem?
Yep. They were 1 game short.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Number 3, as much as it pains me to say this, the New York Rangers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Heat.
No, they're not on this list.
The Heat were winners for me.
They didn't win anything.
The Heat won the respect thing again.
Again, they don't hang banners for respect. The Rangers won a Game 7 against the Carolina Hurricanes to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals against the 2-time defending champion, Tampa Bay Lightning.
That was blowout.
Yeah, 6-2. What kind of Game 7 is that? No.
We had 2 road teams take Game 7s, and both of them could have been in not very compelling fashion, except for the Celtics decided to crap their pants for the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, just to keep the ratings up. You know, it's all
it's a league team.
It's all rigged.
League team.
Now the Final Four is set in hockey. It's Oilers, Avs in the West, Lightning, Rangers in the East.
Yes, go Avs now.
That's your American team.
Although I would still love to see Canada
hoist Lord Stanley.
Yeah, I would.
For the first time since I believe the early 90s.
Yeah, I think 93.
That's what I wanted to say, but was too scared to say.
Yep.
We're going with 93, everyone.
Sure.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
That concludes our conference finals previews in the NHL. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. As I said before, I believe in the second segment of the show, they outcultured the culture. They won a series between 2 severely banged up teams. They won the Bob Cousy Trophy and Jason Tatum won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
The Larry Bird Trophy.
The Larry Bird Trophy. It was written in the stars that this would happen.
Yeah.
Heat are just they love an aging superstar there in Miami. You got fat Kyle Lowry and he's worthless Victor Oladipo.
Yeah.
Maybe you reevaluate those 2 in the offseason.
No, they got some work to do, that's for sure.
They're going to make some moves.
But you trust them as an organization.
Yeah, you trust that Pat's going to put themselves in a position to win.
And that Spo will coach him up.
He always does.
Remember when he was just the video guy that he was...
Whoa. Eric Spoelstra started off in the video department for Miami?
People
Wow.
forget this. And that he was just, assigned to coach LeBron James. It's been a long time
He was
since
a puppet?
that.
Yeah. Leads us to our winner of the weekend, number 1. You all thought I'd go Homer and put the Celtics at number 1, didn't you? Didn't you?
I did.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
It's Miles Teller.
Well, you zig, I zag. Because number 1 is Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
He saved the movie industry this weekend. An industry which I love greatly.
Are movies back now?
Movies are back. For the 12th time since the pandemic, movies are back.
No, they feel really back this time.
They really
I'm
do.
sure we haven't said that before.
This one feels different. I'm sure it'll feel different in 2 weeks when people go see Jurassic World.
Now there'll be a thing in like 3 months. It's like, hey, remember movies? And then there'll be a movie again in Christmas, and they'll say movies are back.
Tom Cruise nets his first $100 million opening in his career. How is that even possible?
Yeah, that's shocking.
The long-awaited sequel.
100 million is not even a total. Like, that's an extremely high bar.
It's nothing. And Tom Cruise has never hit it, even with all those Mission Impossible movies. Tom Cruise literally ran his way to $100 million this weekend because that's what he does in his movies. He runs everywhere you were going. This weekend, people were like, hey, did you see Top Gun? Hey, did you see Top Gun? In the hallways this morning, everybody's like, hey, did you see Top Gun?
I haven't even seen the column yet where somebody zags and is like, actually, this movie wasn't good and everybody's blinded by nostalgia and oily abs. I haven't even seen that yet.
That's usually a thing that comes with these well-reviewed reboot sequels.
Who's going to be the first to say this movie actually sucked? I haven't seen it yet.
96% on Rotten Tomatoes. So somebody is out there with the take that this is not a good movie.
Right.
I don't know who.
I can't wait to find that.
Ooh, Sarah Manville of Critics Notebook said, under the thrill of genuine stunt work and the pleasure of being able to relax into a story we already know, audiences won't mind that the film's sensations are only based on what used to thrill us. She said a phrase that I'm not sure I can say on the radio.
Don't.
No, I'm not going to risk
it. Yeah.
Just a story we already know. No, that story zigged when I thought it was going to zag. I know I'm abusing that phrase here in this segment, but no, I was pretty sure I knew what was going to happen in that movie, and no spoilers.
Goose Jr. died?
Whoa, hey. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The guy, oh my gosh.
Somebody did it?
Somebody did it. Somebody in this city did it.
Oh no. The World Herald?
No, they don't have a movie reviewer on staff.
Oh.
The gentleman who reviews movies for the Reader said, and I quote, "This is basically just escapist authoritarian porn for white dads. If it were a sports movie, the 60-year-old coach of the football team would be called out of retirement to quarterback the
Nobody
Super Bowl."
thinks this is like Oscar worthy, although it might win an Oscar. Who knows? The Oscars are so screwed up now. Nobody thinks this is like the highbrow stuff here.
They literally address that in the first 10 minutes of the movie. They go, why are you still here? Why have you not,
have a better take,
gone further in your military career? Trust me, they knew what you were thinking of. Why is he not an admiral? I don't know my Navy positions. What's top dog in the Navy?
Yeah.
I think it's top dog.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
Top gun, top dog.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
It's a good top 5. It was a good weekend.
Learned a lot today.
Top Shatel, the World Herald, coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Living is all about great experiences. We invite you to experience everything that Sarpy County has to offer. The great outdoors awaits you at Fontenelle Forest or Schramm State Park. As the pro sports capital of Nebraska, grab your family and enjoy an Omaha Storm Chasers or Union Omaha game at Werner Park. Nothing beats watching your child catch their first foul ball or perhaps a fish at one of Sarpy's many reservoirs. Visit GoSarpy.com to plan your next experience this spring.
Everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It is a great time for you to get your golf game back in shape with their director of instruction, Mike Favre. Give him a call at 402-498-0220. Whether it is individual lessons, whether it is group lessons, whether you are a single handicap or have never played golf before, he can help improve the game of golf for you, and thus you will enjoy those rounds when you get out and play. They're located just north of the Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
1620 The Zone. Live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, offering office break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
You know how some commercials say silly things like conveniently located, and the actual location is way across town? At Core Bank, we're located on your desktop, laptop, or smartphone. So if you need a business loan, you don't have to drive anywhere. Get the funds you need with Rapid Track Loan from Core Bank. It's really convenient and really fast. Go to rapidtrackloan.com and apply today. At Core Bank, we make lending convenient for businesses. Loan subject to credit approval, not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Movies are back. The Big Ten gets no respect in baseball. Some things don't. The license plates are still boring and unoriginal. Things don't change around here very much. Tom Shatel joins us now. Hello, Tom.
You know, I was thinking it was like 7 or 8 options for the license plate, and just kind of pick one you want, and you could go old school, 80s or 90s, or you could go this new one is like a San Antonio Spurs uniform. It's just kind of, it just doesn't do much. So
there are some states that have like 40 options that you could just pick from. And I think that's probably the way to go here, because we're not going to be able to agree on, if it's they've gone way crazy. The ones that made us look like the back of our cars were on fire for that 5-year stretch in the beginning of, the century, I think. And then they've been too boring. Like there's no way to go here.
If you can't recognize it, or if you have to think about it when you see it, it doesn't work.
It's probably no good.
So just go basic. Have a nice color, and just kind of go with that. And don't try to be too much. I don't know. I just feel like it's a license plate, and I don't know. What should the color be? Red, I guess, or you know what? If you're Creighton, you could do blue if you want to do blue. You have options, but anyway, I'm sure I'll get it, and I'm sure I'll pay for it.
Yeah, as always. Are you interested in more Big Ten baseball games? Were you interested in the Big Ten baseball game that didn't end till after 3:00 on Sunday night?
Strangely, I was attracted to it. I was like, this is so weird and so out there that something interesting might happen, or something it feels like you're part of a like a all night, one of those things where you stay up all night to study or do something, and you don't want to go to sleep because it feels like it's going to be history, or you're going to see something. And then I realized it was Indiana Rutgers, and I said, I'm going to bed. But, the Big Ten tournament is just, but all college tournaments, baseball tournaments they're all broken in their own way, and I threw out a couple ideas today, and I really think the Big Ten tournament should just be 16, either 6 or 4. And you know what? If you want to have 6, okay, you want to include half. It should be hard to get in the tournament. You should have to have a good year to get in, or at least be in the top half of the league. So let's just have 6. Let's have 2 play-in games, single elimination. I mean, if the college basketball teams could fly all over the place to the tournament and lose and go home, so can the baseball teams. So, and just make it, make it about the weekend. Make it about having a sort of a big tournament party for the fans Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just have 4 teams by then. And just, I don't know. It just seems to me you wear down your pitching staffs. Nobody goes to any of these games. Even the SEC didn't have a big crowd until Saturday or Sunday. So I just feel like, one of the great options, of course, I hate to say take it away because we have it in Omaha, right? But it's not really doing a whole lot for us if there's nobody there. Why not have 3 weekends of NCAA tournament where it's just 2 teams and you play 2 out of 3 weekends in a row?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the pitching staffs, and look, it's more evident in an 8-team double elimination format than just about any. But even in the 4-team ones that Creighton and UNO were both in. They're light on pitching if they're going to make it to a championship game on the Sunday or the Monday or whenever it might be, the last day of the tournament. Like, there's college baseball pitching staffs don't go that deep, and I suppose that's sort of the point. You want to get the best team, the deepest teams, the best teams out of it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have much meaning at the end of the day.
No, you want, and I suppose you want to help your bubble team get in. The problem is that the Big Ten hardly ever gets more than like 2 in, do they? I mean, there's usually 2 or 3.
Well,
so.
this is the first time it's been back to 2 in a while. But a lot of that has to do with a couple teams not holding up their end of the bargain, like Nebraska.
Right.
They also got bids stole. Rutgers probably an NCAA tournament, should be an NCAA tournament team, but then Michigan won and they got the bid taken away from them because of that, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that they didn't really beat anybody all year. They won 44 games, but a lot of the teams they beat were, and again, it's not the Big Ten's fault, or not their fault that the Big Ten was bad, but a lot of teams they beat were in RPI of over 100, and in some cases 200. So, non-conference, you got to go play somebody. And look at Grand Canyon; they played everybody in the Pac-12, and they beat them all. And they, the Liberty played. They're in the South, so they get to play a lot of these midweek games against teams in the ACC and SEC, and so it's harder in the North. But of course, we know that.
Yep. Either you're it's one way or the other. Either you play nobody or you are on the road for the first 3 weeks of the season, which you probably are anyway, but you're probably getting your heads beat in for the first 3 weeks of the season too.
Yeah. Yeah, the conference baseball tournaments are just kind of, I don't say that they're a big waste of time, but they're probably more of an exhibition than even the basketball tournaments are,
Yeah.
The basketball is great because a single elimination makes it better, and the games are on fire. If you lose, you go home. It's double elimination. It just seems like it drags on and on and on. And then you had the rainouts, and oh my God, it's just Kevin Kugler should get some kind of medal or something.
Yeah,
I don't know what he should get, but I mean he was. Every time I turned it on, the game on, here it was again.
I know. 3 o'clock
How
in the morning.
How are you doing this? How are you watching these games over and over?
They're all night. I think they give them a room, in there and just, hey, lay down and come back in the morning. Wake up in the morning. What about, how about North Carolina? You wrote a little bit about North Carolina State too, and them getting left out. We were just talking about the Big Ten and what they need to do. North Carolina State didn't have a totally airtight resume, and I think they fell by the wayside on that one. Yeah. But just the last year that they've had now, it's crazy to think about, and now getting left on the doorstep of the tournament when most thought, and they're a fun team, right? They have Tommy Tanks, as they're calling the guys hitting home runs everywhere. He set the freshman home run record. It seems weird that they get left on the doorstep.
I felt bad for them, and I didn't feel bad for them that they didn't get vaccinated last year. But that was last year. Let's move on. I thought that I wanted to see them come back and have another shot at it. But Connor, one thing we always say college baseball is going to the heavyweights, and the little guy, is going to get left behind. But if you look at this field. There's a lot of mid-major and smaller schools that got in, and the last 4 in were, Liberty and Grand Canyon were in the last 4 in.
Yeah.
And
baseball's a little different that way. It's not like the power structure is different than how we think about it in football.
Right, and even a couple like Georgia Southern got to host. A couple of these things got to host, whereas. Hey, maybe the committee leaned that way this time. They don't always do that.
Yeah. You wrote about Big Ten divisions too, and to which you say good riddance. Why do you hate the Big Ten West?
I don't hate it. I live in it. I live in it every day of my life. The divisions are just so divisive. They build walls that I think are unnecessary. And then again, these leagues are so big, but I really think that in the case of the Big 12, going to those divisions, I thought really helped bring the league down. It became a South versus North thing. It got real emotional, and it just felt like, okay, the South is good and the North sucks, and it doesn't help anybody, and especially in this day and age when you're trying to impress a college football playoff committee, you don't need to have the labels. I mean, it's the Big Ten East. Okay, they're holding up the whole league. Big Ten West is holding everybody down.
Yeah, but it's really just Ohio State.
Why not have a league where you've got 4 or 5 or even 6 teams that are all playoff contenders, and then you try to get in that group. And the only thing the divisions really do for anybody is it gives them a sort of a shortcut. If you're in the West, it gives you like a shortcut to get to the championship game. And I say shortcut when Nebraska hasn't quite figured out how to get to this shortcut. But the shortcut is you win a bunch of games that are often punting contests against Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota. You just try to slog through those games, and Kirk Ferentz has got it figured out. You don't make mistakes. Wisconsin doesn't make mistakes, and they just kind of survive. Then they get to the championship game, and it's a bad game. And that doesn't do. TV doesn't want that. TV wants the heavyweights in there, and I do too. I want to see. Sometimes you're not going to get. A lot of these teams aren't going to play each other all the time. You're not going to get Ohio State, Penn State every year if they just go to one league. I don't think. Maybe there'll be the rivalry game. I don't know, but I just think if it's a rematch, who cares? Let's watch. If it's 2 really good teams, let's watch it again. I'd rather watch that than some mismatch. So. Yeah, to me, the divisions are just kind of unnecessary. There's a lot more reasons to not have.
Yeah. You think, I wonder, because you were kind of getting at it a little bit, do you think the style, because the Big Ten West is known for a style, right? The teams that have won it, Iowa, Wisconsin, they've had, their, even Northwestern, when they've won it, their specific style and how it works in this division. Do you think the styles sort of fade away a little bit, or is it just, hey, they get to, they're going to have to go through the big boys a little bit more in order to have as much success?
You play to, you play the style that is going to give you the best chance to win. Well, the best chance to win in the West is to play that style, whereas that style doesn't work against Ohio State. Well, it does occasionally, and the teams have beaten them. But it's usually called a huge upset when it happens. Why not try to mold your program around the goal of being up there at the top, rather than trying to be the best of the West, which a lot of times is the middle of the pack. So I had a couple of readers, respond to me saying, "Yeah, I think you're right," and right now, Nebraska's trying to be the best of a bunch of mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Why not try to be, go for the top? So
hasn't really worked out either.
I really don't think Nebraska will be in trouble in terms of they're gonna fall in the middle of the pack or the bottom, and they're never gonna get out. Nebraska will always. The fans will always care enough to want to be at the top, and I think now, if you put everybody together, it gives them more of a okay. We are going for the top. We may not get there, but that's our goal. How many times would you play in a championship game? You may not play as much, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a better way to get more teams in the playoffs, which I'm glad to see the Big Ten wants to be part of that. Occasionally, they don't even want to be part of that.
Right.
So I'm glad to see the Big Ten wants to be involved in that and have more teams in. And it also, if TV is going to they're going to throw $1 billion at the Big Ten, they're going to want something in return.
Yep.
And it ain't Ohio State, Wisconsin.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's interesting. I'll have to think a little bit more about that. Tom, good stuff as always. We'll let you go. Have a good week.
I didn't get to tell my I-80 story. I had an I-80 story.
Oh yes. Well, we have all the time in the world. Fire away.
Oh my God. No, I-80. My family goes to Adventureland, and I tag along once in a while. So we've done this Des Moines thing over and over all summers. I have no problem with that drive. I can get there fast now. It's not that big a deal, But and going from like Kansas City to Columbia, Missouri, I mean it's the same thing. It's 125 miles, so I kind of get used to it. But way back in the day, about like 2000, 2001 or so, Rich Kipis and I were going to Drake. Okay, Creighton, late in the season, Creighton was going to clinch the Missouri Valley. It would have been Dana's first Missouri Valley title. Not tournament, but regular season at Drake on a Saturday night. So we drive Saturday afternoon. We drive to Des Moines. No hotel. We're going to write and file and get back on the road. So we get there. They win. We write. It's 11 o'clock. We get in the car. We drive back to Omaha. And about Atlantic, which is halfway, it starts to snow. And it's midnight, and it's snowing, and it starts to stick. And it's getting worse. And we're an hour away. And we're going, oh, my God, this is the worst. Because, and there's nowhere to really stay. We're driving in this, it's like a blizzard. All of a sudden, I think it was like Walnut, exit 40 something, 46 or 50. But there's a McDonald's and a Super 8. I'm going, Rich, I know this is crazy, but it might be crazier to keep going. Let's stay in that Super 8. And he goes, you're right. So we got off and we stayed in the Super 8 in Walnut, Iowa. And less than an hour from home. But it was so bad that night. It was like 12 or 12:30. We said we don't want to be, in the ditch. With nobody trying to get us. We stayed in the Super 8, and
for whatever reason,
it was fast times on I-80. It was a memory.
There's always extreme weather. For I don't know how, but there's always extreme weather. And then one of the worst parts about it too is, I mean, if you're driving in the dark like you guys were, and especially if there's weather, you can't see nothing. It's dark.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's a tough stretch for me. I don't know.
I agree.
And the worst, one that didn't even make the top 5 of the worst reasons why it's bad is because usually, and this is what has to do with Nebraska being in the Big Ten, I mean, you're coming from Minneapolis, or you're coming from Chicago, or you're coming from Iowa City, or you're coming from somewhere else. Everything else is east. You have to go through it every time. So you're coming off of like a 5+ hour road trip, and this is the last 2 hours, and it feels like you're there, but you're not there. And it feels like that stretch should be shorter.
That is true. We drive to Champaign or wherever we're going, I guess Iowa City, whatever. The last part is always the longest. You're right. It's like, are we there yet? No, we are not. Oh God. But it's like, it's like you went to Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
That's a cool ballpark, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's first time I've seen a game there. And yeah, this is what I've been saying. When the Royals do their downtown stadium, which it sounds like they're going to do relatively soon, it needs to look a little bit like that. That's a good spot.
Do they still have the scoreboard with the old logo? The two guys shaking hands.
Yeah, they shake hands. Yeah,
that's the greatest logo.
I think so too. The Twins. The Minneapolis and the St. Paul guys?
The 60s. That was their first logo. And I mean, it's awesome.
Really, really cool place.
But I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm sorry you had to suffer the last 2 hours, but
that's why Twitter's there. We take to Twitter and complain about it, and then we're over it.
That's what Twitter's for. That's why I got off Twitter.
Thanks, Tom.
I will. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Tom Shatel from the Omaha World Herald. Glad he shared that story. And I'm not the only one who's dealt with significant weather events west of Des Moines. It's questionable stuff over there at times for whatever reason. I don't know. I can't explain it. Just how it always works out. Got to take a break. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
At Dingman's, our first priority is protecting your safety. We are here to be your personal advocate to ensure you receive safe, proper repairs by the highest skilled technicians in the industry. Vehicle technology is changing faster than ever. Performing manufacturer repair procedures is just one way we ensure your vehicle will be returned to you as safe as it was when you bought it. Visit our website at dingmans.com or stop in to experience the Dingman difference for yourself. At Dingman's, we would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision, the only place in our area to specialize in all 7 FDA-approved vision correction procedures. Find out which of those 7 you qualify for by visiting their website today, KuglerVision.com.
1620 The Zone. Live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Life is all about choices. Veggies or meat, sleep in or hit the gym. Luckily, choosing Cox Internet over the competition is easy. With Cox, you can get internet that delivers speeds even faster than 5G providers. With the competition, you don't. That's easier than packing a swimsuit for the pool. Get Cox today, the no-brainer choice for fast and reliable internet. Based on Gigablast download speeds up to 1 gigabit per second compared to average download speeds over 5G. Download speed up to 1 gigabit per second requires DOCSIS 3.1 modem with 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet port. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed.
Malarkey shingles are durable, high performance, impact resistant, and beautiful. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified Malarkey shingle residential contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
CM's Outdoor, now a proud part of Ryan Lawn and Tree. For a limited time, get your first lawn or pest application for free. Schedule a free estimate at bestomahala.lawn.com. That's bestomahala.lawn.com.
Being a small business owner means you're busy. So when you need a business loan fast, go with Rapid Track Loan from Core Bank. Visit rapidtrackloan.com to apply. At Core Bank, we make lending convenient. Loan subject to credit approval, not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. So the teams that did not qualify for any of these 3 things, a bowl game, the NCAA basketball tournament, or the college baseball tournament, there were 6 of them in Power 5, but 2 of them don't have baseball teams. Those 2 would be Syracuse and Colorado. The other 4 who participate in all 3 sports and did not make postseason play in any of them. Nebraska, Northwestern, Cal, and Washington. So when Nebraska and Northwestern play in Ireland here coming up shortly, it'll be the, whatever you call that, the bowl to the irrelevant bowl. I don't know what you would call it.
That's our postseason, baby.
I mean, it would be, that's hard to replicate. I don't think we have a very good, like, Nebraska being bad at everything basically over the last couple of years has really thrown out of whack, I think, our sort of expectations or even like just reality, right? Guys, a Power 5 team where you're scheduling at least 2 wins, and all you have to do is say, we're not, and you could schedule a third too. You could be like Iowa and say, well, we're just going to walk through the non-con. I guess we got Iowa State, but we're not going to. Wisconsin, they occasionally will schedule someone really, really good, but in the years they don't, it'll be nobody in there, right? Purdue's non-con, right. So you could schedule 3 wins, and then all you got to do is find a way to win 3 out of 9 of the rest of your games. Yeah, one of them is going to be against Ohio State, but one of them's going to be against Rutgers too, right? We may have lost sense a little bit of how difficult it or how easy it is to get to a bowl game, considering where Nebraska has been over the last couple of years.
That's a good point, because I saw this stat it must have been yesterday, and I said, really? I would have thought this just happens to more teams, but then yeah, it's pretty easy to make a bowl game.
Everybody makes a bowl game. It's hard to be a power conference team and not make a bowl game. Think about the advantage that you have on the basketball side. It's not that difficult to go 500 in basketball. And if it's not that difficult to go 500 and you're in the Big Ten, you're probably like, at that point, 3 or 4 wins away from the NCAA tournament. Okay. I don't know if this is a poll question, but it's a thought. What is the easiest thing to do out of the 3? Make a bowl game, make the basketball tournament, make the baseball tournament.
I think that is actually a poll question.
I think my vote would be bowl game.
I think that's the way it would shake out, but you never know.
Baseball tournament. Now, if we're looking at from the perspective of Nebraska, baseball tournament probably is the most difficult considering the competition that exists. Like I said earlier, like it's not really the power conferences in baseball, although they're sort of expected to be in that conversation, but you have a lot of other teams geographically just in the South that are going to be competing for spots. That feels like a really competitive field. I mean, look at Rutgers, who won 44 games and got left out. So if we're looking at it from a perspective of a team from the Big Ten, that might be the most difficult. Now, from Nebraska's perspective, we expect them to be there every year. We should expect them to go to a bowl game every year. I think we do. And from the basketball side of things, they just haven't done it very much, so those expectations got out of whack too. I'm going football. But Nebraska, an elite company with Northwestern, Cal, and Washington.
Smart schools, good schools.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh.
Just got to be positive. The positive boys.
We'll come back. More up next here on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly clear skies will eventually prevail throughout the afternoon as temperatures spike into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Tonight, I'm tracking a morning low of 52 degrees with clear conditions. For your Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, small chance of afternoon rain. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
Dingman's Collision Center, Omaha's top choice. For over 20 years, your safety is our #1 priority.
FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the 75th NBA Finals. And to celebrate 75 years of the NBA, they're going to give all customers a $75 referral bonus. That's right. You'll give and get $75 in site credit when you invite friends to join America's #1 sportsbook.
Here's how it works. Invite your friends from the app. Make sure they sign up with promo code ZONE. That means you just have to go to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, get it downloaded, enter the promo code ZONE. The offer ends June 1st, but remember, $75 both ways. That's good for you. That's good for us. Remember, enter the promo code ZONE.
Yeah, and as soon as your friend makes any bet of at least $10, you'll both get the bonus. Go to FanDuel Sportsbook. Invite your friends today. Get your $75 sportsbook credit. 21 over, present Iowa. Referred players must wager $10 or more within 28 days after signing up. Limit 10 referrals. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires after 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
KFC knows that when it comes to sharing, there's good and there's finger-licking good.
A meal with sides, that's good. 3 equally delicious sides? So even if one kid loves mac and cheese, another only eats mashed potatoes, and the third is basically 90% French fry, there'll still be no complaints, besides why bedtime can't be midnight and ice cream isn't a breakfast food? That's finger-licking good.
KFC's Sides Lovers Meal. Pick 3 large sides and pair them with 8 crispy tenders or your favorite fried chicken. Order now on the KFC app. Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's finger-licking good.
Prices and product availability may vary.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell.
Oh, thanks. I can read. And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning? Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
about this? Big time college basketball back to the Sioux Falls Pentagon this winter, December 2nd, fall, winter, when Gonzaga will play Baylor. A non-conference game at the Sioux Falls Sanford Pentagon. That's been a really big success for them over the last couple of years. Nebraska's in it. Creighton's in it. Creighton's been in it. And now we have Gonzaga and Baylor.
National championship rematch, right?
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah.
From 2 years ago.
Yeah, 21.
Yes. And I think, wasn't there a conversation about Duke doing something like that this year, but there was still like some COVID concerns and that may have got.
Yeah, I believe so.
It got messed up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in making a trip up, 2.5 hours up I-29, is that a more or less intriguing stretch than west of Des Moines on I-80? Josh, you don't seem to feel strongly about this.
The point you made that I agree with the most is that the last 2 hours, it feels like you are closer than you are.
It's a hard 2 hours.
Yeah. And it feels, is it more narrow? Like, are there fewer lanes?
No,
for
but
a stretch of it.
The road is just in garbage shape.
It just
Like,
it feels like it's crowded. It feels like there's so much traffic. Any time you go.
Because and Nick brought this up, there's like constant sudden elevation changes. Like you're going up and down hills the entire time. So the trucks are either like barreling down the road at 80 or they're slowed all the way down below the speed limit because they can't make it up the hills.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there's always like a backup, and then you get free, and then there's a backup. This is constant for the last 2 hours of your road trip. And this is the worst thing about Nebraska joining the Big Ten. It's not recruiting. We don't get to play Texas anymore, stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. It's this. It's the fact that every single road trip has to end with this. You're going to Minnesota, you're going to Iowa City, you're going to Wisconsin, you're going to Illinois, you're going to Purdue, you're going to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you're going to Penn State. You're making the 16-hour trip to Penn State or whatever it is. You're still driving back in the last 2 hours. You feel like you're in your backyard, but you're not. People were tweeting at me yesterday like, oh, no, it's the other side of Iowa that's worse. Nope, incorrect. There is way more civilization on that side of Iowa.
Yeah, few more villains, not villains, buildings.
Buildings.
Why did I confuse those two words?
I don't know.
know.
We're thinking movies. Neither of us can talk. There's no chance. Dirk brought up the stretch that gets you from St. Joe's back to Omaha, basically, on I-29. I wouldn't have said this like 5 years ago. I-29 is like in better, after the flood and everything, they had to like make it a better road because they had no choice. The road was just gone, wiped out for a large period of time. I-29 is not bad anymore. There used to be construction all the time. That's another area though where it gets super dark. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
You're curving around a little bit. But that one, I feel like there's milestones. There's specific markers on that where you can like break it up. West of Des Moines, there's nothing.
Guess I'm going to look at this till I get home.
Nothing. Go ahead. Look into it. This is the answer. It's horrible. We will come back and round things out, pull questions to update, and tell you what to watch tonight next on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Why are we experts in total pest control? Because what good is a beautiful lawn if bugs and pests keep you from going out and enjoying it? This is Chuck Monaco with CM's Outdoor, now part of the Ryan Lawn and Tree family. Our CMs and Ryan Pros are known as the very best at getting rid of the nasty critters that enjoy chewing on your lawn, shrubs, and trees. So it only makes sense that we would also eliminate those annoying pests that see you as a tasty snack. Introducing Pest Guard Plus. We've combined our 4 most popular home pest control services into one year-round program. It includes keeping bugs out of your home, flea and tick control, mosquito, and rodent control. Pest Guard Plus keeps pests out of your home and out of your yard, so you can enjoy summer indoors and out. Visit bestomahaLawn.com to learn more and receive a free estimate. Sign up now for Pest Guard Plus, and your first application is free. Enjoy a pest-free summer with Pest Guard Plus at bestomahaLawn.com. That's bestomahaLawn.com.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is just, well, pretty awesome, actually. And it doesn't matter if you prefer the college dink or the big league crack of the bat, there's nothing better than watching a game with a cold, frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings with Oscar's Thai chili bourbon wing sauce. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. I imagine there are a lot of people out there with really bad roofs waiting for the magic moment. When's the magic moment?
Depends on what type of roof you have. It depends on how old your roof is. I have a customer right now talking about waiting for that hailstorm. Now it's leaking. There's a time where you can't wait for that hailstorm forever.
When it comes time to replace your roof, your gutters, and siding, there's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Being a small business owner means you're busy. So when you need a business loan fast, go with Rapid Track Loan from Core Bank. Visit rapidtrackloan.com to apply. At Core Bank, we make lending convenient. Loan subject to credit approval, not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. If you have tough vision problems, or if you've been told that you cannot have LASIK and you are stuck with bad vision, don't believe it. There are 7 different modern vision correction procedures, and they offer all 7 of those at Kugler Vision. Connect with Kugler Vision today. Find out about the options that they have and what it could mean for you. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211 or book your consultation online at KuglerVision.com.
Tracy, line 1 is looking for a quote on a mini split.
Crazy spring temperatures are heating up Dwight HVAC phone lines.
Next week we're booked solid.
If they don't find more technicians, they'll be in hot water.
How are we down 3 technicians in the past 3 weeks?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
KFC knows that when it comes to sharing, there's good and there's finger-licking good.
A meal with sides, that's good. 3 equally delicious sides, so even if one kid loves mac and cheese, another only eats mashed potatoes, and the third is basically 90% French fry, there'll still be no complaints, besides why bedtime can't be midnight and ice cream isn't a breakfast food. That's finger-licking good.
KFC Sides Lovers Meal. Pick 3 large sides and pair them with 8 crispy tenders or your favorite fried chicken. Order now on the KFC app. Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's finger-licking good.
Prices and product availability may vary.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Joe in Phoenix has a fair point. He says, he tweets at us at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. He says, I thought all Big Ten road trips are bad now because Nebraska never wins any of their road games. And then he also adds, Frost sucks, October 1st. Now, I will admit to you that Nebraska losing has a negative impact on the trips coming back from the Big Ten stadiums. Yes, that is certainly.
It's got an impact.
Yeah. Something going on there. You might be onto something, Joe. All right, poll questions from today. We had a few, including a great Photoshop, by the way. This is not a poll question. Nice Allan Bell, bring Allan Bell to Omaha graphic there. It's a movement.
It's begun.
So it's out there at Happer Show. But we start earlier than that. Have you ever pulled over at the Diamond Joe Casino? Diamond Joe, by the way, Josh, J-O.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was unfamiliar with the place.
My answer is yes.
Okay.
81% say no. I don't know what's wrong with them.
All right.
It's weird. Are you having kids to avoid them?
I forget who had that take during the crossover, if it was you or Ravi.
No, I disputed it. I was like, Patrick Mahomes isn't having that kid just to avoid them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? I think that's what I said. The answer is no. 79% agree. Thank you.
Correct.
Very wholesome. Our mustache is back. Kind of feels like yes. I'm going to vote yes.
Okay.
51% say no. It's very close, though. That's still open. Are mustachioed men more confident? Let's say yes on that one. 55% agree.
I really just wanted to say mustachioed in
Yeah,
a poll question.
Yeah, it was the right time.
Mhm.
And Miles Teller, question mark? Josh seems to think there's some sort of shoe about to drop with him. Not sure what.
There's a vibe with him.
I'm in on Miles Teller right now. I don't,
Okay. He's having a moment for sure.
He's definitely having a moment. Doesn't seem particularly like controversial to me. Anything like that.
Mhm.
I want to go yes. 55% say no. Even after the movie. If now is the time to vote yes on this poll question. If there was ever a time. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen for him. Can you call yourself a winner? Yes. 60% agree. Which of the three achievements is the easiest? Making a bowl game, making the basketball tournament, making the baseball tournament. Making the bowl game coming back 84% right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The
in
math
hindsight.
works out the
Yeah.
best on that one for sure. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
NHL playoffs, game 1 of the West Finals, Edmonton and Colorado meeting up 7 o'clock on TNT. We got baseball on the Superstation tonight. Know where Syndergaard takes the mound for the Angels.
They ought to rebrand it back to the Superstation.
They really should. Angels at Yankees tonight. That's a 6 o'clock start. We got a 30 for 30 tonight. The greatest mixtape ever, 7 o'clock on ESPN.
Yeah, Rucker Park.
Yeah, it examines street ball and its culture in the 90s. I'm sure Rucker Park will be in there.
Nice.
There's a section on the And One mixtapes that were very popular. And what a moment in time that was. I cannot explain it to you. AMC, 7 o'clock tonight, the movie 1917. It is a drama from 2019 about World War I. Stunning visuals. It makes you think. The whole movie takes place in one continuous shot. Nominated for 10 Oscars, ended up winning 3. And a streaming option, Hulu debuts a series called Pistol. All 6 episodes of that limited series dropped today. It focuses on 3 years within the band, the Sex Pistols.
Okay. Band docs are usually pretty good.
Yeah, there's usually some
there's some controversy.
some
in there.
stories to tell for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Josh. That is what to watch tonight. We are done for today. Crossovers next. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio.